chat's got soul. From the gavel to the gas, we're watching it all. Covering the courtroom, big case or small. Laugh when we can, cry when we must, but it's all real talk, you can count on us. We're not the pros, just fans who care. With popcorn in hand and a comfy chair. And every twist, we're right there. Together like we're all in the witness chair. This is the Broken Baker, where the trials come alive, where the chat is wild and the vibes survive. We're watching the worst of what people do, but we keep it light, yeah, that's our truth. It's the only place for crime, and it feels just right. We bring the justice talk into your night. So hit that stream, don't miss the call. At the Broken Baker, we cover it all. Oh yeah. We're just laymen with the view, but we ask the things the world wants to. Digging through the facts, side by side. Even when it's dark, we bring the light. No clickbait, no fake feels, just truth and the highs and the reels. With the chat that roasts and rise, we're just here for the case and the vibe. This is the Broken Baker, where the stories unfold with a smile in the heart, even when it's cold. Yeah, we cover the bad with a wink and a grin. Where the real talk starts, come on, jump in. It's the only place to be, can't you see? For trials and truth, it's BBTV. The Broken Baker, where the trials come alive. Yeah, we'll be here, trial of the trial. Yeah.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be, and welcome to this little late start. I'm sorry, I had a splitting headache and I fell asleep and I didn't wake up again. Well, I did wake up again, but I woke up 7 minutes ago or something like that. So I had to rush this. I'll have to go and pick up some pain pills when the court gets going. Spacey Stacy, thank you for becoming a member again. So, no, headache is not gone. I still have a massive headache, but the show must go on. And it'll probably be fine when I have a couple of pills or something. And yesterday, remember they said we're going to be back in 10 minutes. They were back discussing if the defense had opened the door to some of the questions that the state wanted to ask, and they had a long discussion, and I don't think that the judge ruled favorable to the state. The state, again, it's one of those cases where the state seems like they are trying to do shenanigans, and I don't think you need shenanigans. Hard drugs, count me in. Well, I don't have any I have some muscle relaxers, but muscle relaxers works worse than me than alcohol, so I should probably not do those. Yes, yell louder. It'll work better because, yeah, I can sleep through trial. I could do like so many other creators have started doing, just do. Jason J is in the hood this morning. Hood morning, all. And I hope you all get some sleep, and I hope you can fight off the big C. Side eyes, I like that you lie to try and make me better, but I know you won't. Sue will still be Sue no matter what I feel like, but it'll be fine. I just think I had a crick in my neck that's doing something to my head. But we'll keep going. That's what we're here for. Yeah, maybe I should just get drunk. The No King rally didn't work. I wish you would get a king, because a king is one of the best things you can have in a democracy, because the king has no power. The king will just hold the national banquets when you have foreign dignitaries. He will go around patting babies on the head, clipping the ribbons, and he will be a unifying figurehead of a community. So whenever you have your lousy politicians right now, every Democrat hates the government. The last 4 years, every Republican hated the government. You can still love your king because he is the symbol of your country, not some lousy politician that you get to elect every 4 years. It's a way better system. I am 100% for monarchy. I think it's good for a country. It brings unity because they absolutely have no power. That's the key ingredients, is having no power. Have a cup of black tea and honey for your headache. I don't have a sore throat, so I don't drink tea for my headache. Yeah, I'm sure it won't. I think this is going to be like yesterday with a very long breaks in it. Well, at least I only have the pain in the other part of the body, not that part of the body. Oh, I haven't heard anything related to cults so far. So far, this just seems like a potential custody battle gone wrong. One of the arguments they had yesterday was, did he know that she was going to leave with the kids, and that's why he did it? So he had premeditation, an argument they had before, but they didn't come through with. And there's a lot of people moving around in court, but nothing's happening still so far. Yeah, and the kid is having the feds are at her job site this morning trying to figure out where all of the evidence went. Don't mind me. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. If I'm not fine, I don't go on stream. If I feel like I can't be able to do it, I'll send you somewhere else. Let's not talk about illnesses. It's not that important. Then we just become one of those streams where you have to sit and say, well, today I have a hung toenail. Well, I actually have two. Oh, I wish I could have a hung toenail, but I don't have feet. Oh, imagine wondering where your feet has gone when you don't have legs. You know, one of those streams where everyone has a disease that's worse than everyone else's, and the streamer has to sit here and say, well, I would love having any body parts, but actually I am a floating head because the cholera took the rest of it. So let's not turn into one of those Grive streams, chatties. Hey, factual Lloyd. I have heard nothing about frolicking. Nothing. It's an amazing lack of frolicking. I don't know what the Free State Project is, and again, it hasn't been introduced so far in the trial. Yeah, let's remember it's Tuesday, it's not Monday, and everything is fine. And keep a smile on. That's what we're here for. Yeah, I just there's some troopers you go into and their chat is always talking about who has the most illnesses. And it reminds me of my mom and her good friend Bodil. My mom's good friend Bodil had every disease known to human history. She even had diseases that she couldn't have. And every time her and my mother would get together, my mother said, well, my mother had an arthritis and had a hip replacement, and she had a lot of stuff going wrong with her in her later years. And my mom said, well, because they did a lot of testing with her hip replacement to figure out if that might have been poisoning her, that she was allergic to the metals used in it, but they couldn't find out what was in the metal. So she always felt not that good. And every time that Bodil lady would come over, she would sit there and say, well, yeah, but I have had, she had the Big C since 1985. She never ever got treatment or anything, but she still had the big C from 1985 till she passed away. I believe she passed away 2 years after my mother. My mother also passed away from big C, but the other one just passed away from being old. But these two ladies, every time they were talking, it was about illnesses and who had the most and the worst. And it gets depressing. I only have a swollen camel toe. You can meet up at the Camel Toe Club. Krusty Panties, Lindsay Catani, and their friends will show you how to really accentuate your camel toe with a very tight pair of jean shorts. You better take it back. Not so far. Yeah, I mentioned it in my morning stream. Well, I heard the name as Boob Bill. Do Feds pronounce it better? Bodil. 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 We don't know. We'll never find out because it was an experimental blend they put in her, and that's why you couldn't get it. She had to. They ran a lot of lawsuits and stuff to try and figure out, but and there was. But I don't know if anyone can remember back when they had bone lock and all of that went absolutely crazy. So there was a lot of things they tried to figure out why she always felt like that. Are we going to turn this into a Tuesday morning gripe stream? Is cobalt good for overall health? I don't know what cobalt does for your body. Never heard about that. Hey, Diane G. I only know the color is a nice shade of blue. Hey, Nikki Z. Does cobalt have any good? I never thought about that. It's essential for making red blood cells. It also maintains the nervous system. Cobalt isn't in the body. Is in the body as part of vitamin B12. So cobalt is really, really good for you to make blood. But it's also but if you get in excess quantities and its inorganic form, cobalt can result in a significant toxicity. Acute toxicity is often rare, often resulting from excess nutritional supplementation. Chronic toxicity can occur due to occupational exposures and from the failure of metal-on-metal hip prostheses. Could have been that then. Diagnosis of cobalt toxicity is important to limit morbidity or mortality. So you need cobalt to produce red blood cells, but at the same time, it's not good if you get too much of it. We learn something now again. It's windy. It's windy, and I had to get gas, and now my ginger locks are tangly. Well, here it's just fall weather, dark, wet, and black. Go do that and see if it helps. Hey, Katie. Hello, Zach. Don't listen to Zach. Zach, don't be peddling your devil letters in my chat. Hey, plushie. And still nothing from court. He said, go through that door. As long as you keep out of the light, he'll always say that, hey, just go into the light. Don't worry, my hands is around your neck. Just go into the light. Shh, 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 shh. And please don't go there. Hey, Holly. Oh, we have a judge now. We have a judge.
Dustin Duren, scheduled for day 2 of the jury trial. This is a hearing outside the presence of the jury. Counsel, please identify yourselves for the record.
Bethany Duren for the state.
Good morning, Josh Fleischer for the state.
Morning.
Hannah Kinney for Mr. Duren, and Margaret Nettles representing Mr. Duren.
Okay, good morning, council. Good morning, Mr. Duren. Please be seated. Okay, just a few quick things before I bring the jury in.
No, because there's still problems with the mail service. I went to the mail office, and they can not do it either. I'm trying to reach out, but I can't call the central. I'm on an email with them, so I will let you know whenever this crappy postal crap fixes itself. Baker has a headache from a stiff. What's the what now? No, I just have a stiff neck, and then I have a headache.
First of all, there was some discussion relative to the media access to the proceedings. We have attempted to try to clean up or to specify that during breaks that there would not be a live mic on. So I'm getting a nod from the back that's and a thumbs up. So again, I just urge, thank you for that, number one. Number two, just in case there's any technical issue with that, I also encourage everyone to be mindful that during breaks that even though there's an intent and an ability to turn off the mic, there might be a situation where a mic is live. So I would just urge people to be mindful of that. Second, Attorney Duran, with respect to the two in-camera motions, I went back and I did grant those.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor.
So I did-
I don't know that came through to us, but
Okay.
I appreciate you checking.
So I think medical records was September 3rd by my reckoning, and the CAC was also September 3rd. So if for some reason they didn't get to you, then there's your notice.
Thank you.
Okay, so if there's anything in those that I missed, but I simply granted them as is. Next, with regard to the motion to reconsider, again, I'm denying the motion to reconsider. I've got a few more comments to make with respect to that. I did review the transcript again relative to the statements.
It sounds
at
like they
issue.
had access to two cameras, but
And
didn't
so
see
adopting the
motion.
reasoning as proffered by the defendant, but also a few more comments in that regard. Specifically, the state is offering the defendant's statement to the police as part of the transcript and the video, which has already been litigated. Based upon my review of the statement, it does contain hearsay. We've already litigated, and we had a specific hearing on this 2 weeks ago, the proposed redactions to the statement, and I've already made my rulings in that regard. As part of that overall statement, and I specifically go to page 56 of that statement, Mr. Duren, in his comment to the police, indicated, I'm reading from line 21, and then she just said, no, comma, I'm staying here, comma, and I'm not leaving, period. That's it, page 56, line 21 through 22. So the touchstone or the lodestar relative to my analysis in that regard goes back to Mr. Duren's rights under these proceedings relative to the right to present all proofs favorable and the general confrontation right relative to a statement such as that. So based upon that and looking at Rule 806, which for purposes of this proceeding, I will read into the record relative to 806, that when a hearsay statement has been admitted in evidence.
Happy members' anniversary to you as well, Holly Mack, and thank you for 15 months.
the declarant's credibility may be attacked and then supported by any evidence that would be admissible for those purposes if the declarant had testified as a witness. The court may admit evidence of the declarant's inconsistent statement or conduct regardless of when it occurred or whether the declarant had an opportunity to explain or deny it. So again, with respect to Ms. Naffziger's statement, I believe that my ruling is that Ms. Duren has the right to challenge that statement, and I'm admitting it for credibility purposes in that vein. Substantively, I'm also allowing it for now as evidence in support of the claim of defense of others. However, I would also note for the record that I'm still waiting for further legal argument relative to the issue that was raised during the motions hearing 2 weeks ago, which we will continue to work on that, and we will have to have a hearing on that relative to the defendant's legal position, to put it in the simplest terms possible, as to whether you can kidnap your own kid. So we referenced that during the hearing 2 weeks ago as a legal proposition, not as a factual proposition, and that's something that needs to be returned to. I understand that there's a need to proceed with openings and the presentation of evidence before we get to the final jury instructions. However, that issue still is being yet to be ruled on, the specific ramifications of that. So again, I'm denying the motion to reconsider relative to a Rule 806 ruling as to the credibility, Mr. Duren's right to attack the credibility of that statement as he made it, once that statement is offered into evidence as a hearsay statement under 8033 as referenced by Attorney Kettles yesterday. And then substantively, I'm allowing it for now, subject to how we end up having the legal ruling on the issue that I flagged last week. Attorney Duren or Spicer, any questions on my rulings with respect to the motion to reconsider?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, objection duly noted. Anything further, Attorney Kenny or Attorney Kettles, on that issue?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, you can if you don't have the right to take them, right? When I traveled with my kids, especially to America apparently has a very different. In Europe, I have never had to have my wife's permission to. I just took my kids and went to Spain or Germany or wherever I want to go. When I flew to America, because we are divorced, we had shared custody. They told me, better to be safe than sorry. Nothing goes wrong, because it can end up in a hell of a legal battle. You get a notarized piece of paper saying, I, the spouse, have granted my former husband the right to take the kids to America for this period of time, and just bring it with you. At the airport, my kids were pulled aside. My young daughter she had just been confirmated, so she was 13 at the time, I believe. And this security guard was doing that, hey, I'm just friendly talking to you, while another guy was talking to me. And he actually asked them, oh, so where's mommy? So you can get in trouble. Again, do you have the right to take the kid away? It's weird. It's weird. Yeah, again, if you have the custodial rights, of course you can steal the babies from the other one, but they weren't divorced or they were in the custody battle, so it's a little more. But here in Denmark, for instance, we are like, we have like smaller counties. We have 98. You'll probably call it like cities, and then our communities we have like 5. And if you have to move from one place to another and you have shared custody, you will have to talk to each other about it and get an okay, so you don't put undue burden on the other parent to keep seeing the other person or see the kids and stuff like that. So they could be in one of those battles where, because they are trying to figure out what's going on, he wasn't allowed to take them to another state or something like that.
And the final housekeeping matter is, just so council are aware, when the jury does come in, the first thing I'm going to do is inquire as to whether they have had any media exposure.
Well,
in the event that they have, we will be taking a break. Okay, anything else before we bring the jury in? Okay, all set. for your punctuality. I did not state yesterday, but I wanted to bring to your attention and to assure you of, is that one of the standing orders of the court system, it's not just my order, it's the entire New Hampshire Superior Court judicial branch, there is an order relative to the media presence during these
Remember, I'm not a citizen of America, so it could also be that's why they are more focused on it in America.
proceedings. As you know, it is an open courtroom. But one of the standing orders that is directed to the media is that the jurors' faces are not to be shown as part of the proceedings. So I didn't say that yesterday, and I want to assure you of that, that whether it's still photography or whether it's any videos, that you would not be as part of that transmission. I wanted to bring that to your attention. And the second thing I wanted to follow up on is, again, because there is a media presence during this trial, if any of you have had exposure relative to anything in the media in the last 24 hours during the break since yesterday, if you could raise your hand and we'll address that if that has occurred. Okay, please thank you. Please let the record reflect that none of the jury members raised their hand. So I thank you for that. And again, that's going to be a continuing order and instruction.
Don't expose yourself in the media. Zach learned it the hard way.
To you to, number one, avoid all contact relative to any media representations or coverage as to what's happening here today. And as I said, to please take affirmative steps to avoid inadvertent exposure as well. So I thank you for following my instructions in that regard. Okay?
That
Ready to
hasn't
proceed?
testified yet.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Tracy Flaherty.
No, I know there are two towns that are Danish. There's Solvang in California, and there's another one in Iowa, but I can't remember the name of it. But I didn't know there's in Denmark. But this happened in Berlin, which is the capital of Germany.
Good morning, ma'am. Could you please raise your right hand? Good morning. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth under the pain and penalty of perjury?
Holy!
Thank you. Please have a seat.
I haven't seen a hairdo like this since 1985. I know we make fun every time we see one of Sue's cousins in court that they are a little behind. But this haircut, I don't even think Mo could get a haircut or get a wig in this haircut. That's a fashion statement. Susie Quattro, yeah, something like that.
Good morning. Could you please tell the jury your name and spell your last name?
Good morning. My name is Tracy Flaherty. First name Tracy, Tracey. Last name Flaherty, Flaherty.
Ms. Flaherty, where do you work?
I work for the New Hampshire State Police Major Crime Unit. I'm an intelligence analyst.
How long have you worked for the New Hampshire State Police?
I worked for the New Hampshire State Police since 2016. Prior to that, I was an intelligence analyst with the FBI for 16 and a half years. Then I was an analyst with Liberty Mutual, Special Investigations Unit, working medical fraud. And I had my own business for a few years before joining the state police, where I provided training to private investigators and law enforcement on the techniques of intelligence analysis, how it can be used in cold cases and missing persons.
Thank you, Ms. Flaherty. You mentioned that you are an intelligence analyst. We'll keep it specific to the New Hampshire State Police. What do you do for the New Hampshire State Police as an intelligence analyst?
So I assist in major crime investigations. Those are typically homicides. I help generate leads by researching and locating individuals. I also review evidence that's collected. That could be based on a search warrant, so communication records, maybe financial records, social media. I may assist in looking at devices, depending on the needs of the case.
Thank you. Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned locating people. Do you have any experience with New Hampshire State Police or the FBI or any other of your stops on your career in working with cell phone location data?
I do. Since working with state police, I've had training in actual location data that's obtained from communication records from cell phone carriers.
And about how many times would you say you've had the occasion to do that?
Oh, I've testified about 10 times. This is, I think, my 10th trial, and I have probably worked on 75 to 100 different cases that involved communication records, and many of those involve location data.
Could you describe any training you may have with regard to cell phone location data and communications data?
Absolutely. So since joining the state police, I attended a training seminar from the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey Team, which is called FBI CAS Team. They're an elite team within the FBI that focuses solely on cellular analysis and location data. I've also attended some other courses from them. In addition, I have attended several online classes from their NDCAC, which is the National Domestic Communication Analysis Center. So they have to keep up with the technology. I've also attended training in person and live webinars from a vendor called Cellhawk. They have the software that I use to assist in the mapping.
Okay. So, Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned mapping and using software. Could you explain what you mean by that?
Absolutely. So when it comes to talking about a cell phone and location data, your phone is continuously, in order to use it, is interacting with cell towers. It needs to connect to an antenna, typically mounted on a tower. You're probably used to seeing them on the highway, those big, large structures. But they can also be an antenna that's mounted on a building or a sign. But anyway, your phone does need to connect to an antenna. And so what we end up doing is every tower has a unique phone number, or ID number, I should say. And within the phone records that we receive, it tells us what tower maybe an event is connected to. So for instance, a call. When you make a call or receive a call and your phone connects to a tower, that tower has a unique number. And in the data, we also have not only that unique number of the tower, but what side of the tower, which helps us give a general direction of where that device is when it's connected to the tower. So either for call detail records, which we received in this case, which is incoming, outgoing calls that are made, or specialized location records, which is engineering data, we actually get those unique ID numbers. And the carrier also provides a list of all the towers and those numbers, the sectors, which is that side of the tower that I mentioned, where the antennas are placed, and then how those sectors are orientated. And so by matching that up, and the software helps because it's a volume of data, by matching that up between the two, I can then map that latitude and longitude of the tower that's being used, and then know what side of the tower. And as we'll see in the maps, you can get an idea of general direction of the device and then movement of that device.
Ms. Flaherty, thank you. That's quite a lot of information. I want to back up a little bit. You mentioned that you, in your work, doing this kind of work, generally use communications data. Are there different types of data that you receive related to cell phones?
Yes,
And who provides those?
that would be the mobile carrier. So in this case, it's Verizon.
So someone like Verizon, AT&T, some company like
Correct.
that? And that is data that those companies, is that data that they keep for their own purposes?
Yes, so for billing purposes, they have call records for their subscribers. And for their own business purposes, they have specialized location records that is engineering data that they use to be able to make decisions on coverage, maybe where to put an antenna, how to orientate their antennas, or working on upgrading service in a certain area.
So Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned something called call detail records. What are those?
So call detailed records are similar to your phone bill. It shows calls incoming and outgoing. I'm able to see the date and time of the call, the numbers that are involved in the call. And if we are obtaining call detail records with cell site information, so tower information, then I see that unique number for the tower that's used during that event, along with what side of the tower, so the sector number.
So we'll have a visual in a bit that I think will explain the issue of the size of the tower. So you talked about call detail records. Are you familiar with something called RTT data?
I am.
What is RTT data?
That is the name for Verizon's specialized location records, or their engineering data. Basically, what that is it provides events when your phone is continuously interacting with the towers when it's on. The carrier's taking measurements of the speed of the signal from the tower to the device and back. And so when that measurement's taken, it gives an estimated distance of where that device is from the tower. So we're able to use that and kind of get a better idea of maybe where a device might be.
Ms. Flaherty, in your experience, do cell phone records or communication data also include something called subscriber information?
Yes.
And what is that generally?
That is the individual typically that is paying the bill and that's subscribed to the phone, and oftentimes the user of the phone.
Ms. Flaherty, on March 1st of 2024, did you become involved in an investigation involving someone named Dustin Duren?
Yes, I did.
Can you please tell us when that happened that day and how you became involved?
I received a phone call from my team early morning hours, sometime between March 1st before 2:30 a.m. I received a phone call saying that they needed my assistance in initiating an exigency request for location data on a device that was associated with Mr. Duren.
Ms. Flaherty, I'm going to stop you there.
Sure.
I apologize. You mentioned exigency. What is exigency in
So-
your experience?
So exigency is a process that law enforcement is able to use in interacting with a carrier such as Verizon when there's an emergency and a concern for possible dangerous death or bodily harm.
Is exigency a process that's available when perhaps it's not practical to get a search warrant?
Yes, if it's deemed to be an emergency situation, yes.
So in the early morning hours of March 1st, 2024, you told us that you were asked
Yes, the case out of Florida where she pew-pewed her neighbor through the door. We watched that 6 months ago.
to use the exigency process to do something. Can you tell us what you did?
Sure. So the first thing I did, which is required by Verizon, each carrier kind of has their own method that they want you to interact with. For Verizon, I initiated first calling their emergency hotline, told them the situation, and that I was looking for whether there was a current location on the phone number that I was given.
Okay, was that phone number 702-280-5090?
Yes, it was.
And is that a Verizon phone number?
Yes, it is.
So when you made that first call with Verizon, what happened?
So they told me that there was no current location on that phone, which indicated to me that that phone was most likely off and not connecting to the cellular network.
So you mentioned that the phone was off. Ms. Friday. What are the scenarios where a phone would stop communicating with the network?
If you turn your phone off, if the phone could be destroyed, if you're out of area where there's no signal, no data, then it's possible that it's not connecting to the cellular network.
So at that point, did you know which of those scenarios may have been the case with regard to this telephone?
I did not.
So after receiving that initial information from Verizon that the phone was not communicating, what did you do next?
So then I initiated their emergency disclosure form, which was a request to provide historical information on that device. So such as asking for the subscriber to just verify the ownership of that device, and then asking for historical call detail records, so those calls, incoming and outgoing activity. Also requested the last known location of that device before it stopped communicating with their network. The request also was for that specialized location data and text detail.
When you mentioned that specialized location data, do you mean that?
The RTT, correct.
RTT data. So again, what time in the morning is this that you submitted this form requesting all this other information?
So I spoke to Verizon around 2:30 a.m. and about 2:45, so 2:45 a.m. was when I submitted the form and received the results back about an hour later, I believe.
What were those results that you received?
So I actually received the historical information, the call detail records, everything that I had requested. They sent back via an email, and it covered the time period of February 29th, 2024 at midnight through March 1st at like 2:30 in the morning.
So roughly about the time.
About the time that I contacted them, yes.
Ms.
She
Friday,
seems very
you
good,
mentioned
yes.
A number of records, including call detail records, subscriber information, and RTT data that were obtained early in the morning.
Yes,
Did the New Hampshire State Police later obtain those records again via a search warrant process?
they did, yes.
And was the data the same that was obtained?
Yes, it covered that time period in a larger time period.
So those records that you obtained through the search warrant that covered the same time period, did you review those records?
I did.
And
Yeah, the problem is I can't really boost him because then she'll blast our ears. It's annoying they can't figure out the audio.
Sure, certainly.
Ms. Flaherty, I'm handing you something that's marked for identification at this point. That states Exhibit 13. It's a thumb drive. Do you recognize that thumb drive?
I do.
Have you reviewed the contents of that thumb drive?
I have.
And what does that thumb drive contain?
This contains the historical call detail records, the subscriber record, and the RTT data that I used to create the visuals today.
So that is the data, some of the data that you received by a search warrant and reviewed?
Yes,
And did you use the data on this thumb drive to create a series of maps?
yes, I did.
Your Honor, at this point, the state moves to introduce Exhibit 13 as a full exhibit.
Certainly.
Whoopsie. Why do we have to go to sidebar just to put in evidence? This is my big problem in this case. All of this, why do they have to do the run-up to the sidebar constantly? It's just a digital representation of her evidence. And I didn't know that Netflix apparently has done a lot of true crime series now. I didn't know they covered that case in Florida. The big problem of doing that, and the big problem of people like me covering things, is we will sometime get a hold of something that can't be presented in court. But if you don't know why it can't be presented in court, it'll sound like, well, this clearly should have been presented because, oh my God, he or she is so guilty. But there might be some legal reasons why you can't put it in court because it's prejudicial or it has no relevance. But it sounds really good when someone who might used to be a lawyer or FBI agent says, well, clearly if this comes in. I've seen a lot of people are starting to share that Karen Reed is guilty. Friends tell all about their relationship. Yeah, well, she's not guilty. She was found twice not guilty in court. Well, she wasn't the first time. Oh, shut up. You know they were hung on the second part. So that documentary is mostly body cam. Yeah, and if you ever watch the Love Island or anything, they can cut it to make everything look the way they wanted to cut it. So again, most of these are just like us grifters on YouTube, made to make it interesting so you will watch their program. I haven't had Netflix in I don't know how long, so I haven't seen any of the new documentaries. I watched I was at my sister's last time. I actually think, didn't Netflix have a Karen Reed? Well, they had the Murdoch trial and they had something else, but that's like 2 years ago. And the Murdoch trial documentary, there were so many things where I said, yeah, if you see it that way, but you forget this part, then it makes sense. And it's fiction. And they don't have to follow the rules of documentation, of evidence, and all of that. So I don't know, but I know that Wendy Murphy is mad that Proctor got fired because rich white women don't deserve justice. I thought she was believe all women. Who has sent what to me? I don't. Someone tagged me in a booby picture on Twitter today. I didn't know those blue-feeted birds were calling boobies. I like this woman. She's bringing the 80s hair back. Yeah, the 80s man rockers hair back. Because I don't think a lot of women wore that hairstyle in the 80s. But she looks like she's smoking Virginia Slims, and she's always having a chaser with her beer. Even she's bored. Come on now. I'll get to it. Broken hearted. The higher the hair, the closer to God. Come on now. Well, again, we didn't have the same rules in Denmark because we are tax-paying Christians. So God can't keep us out. We pay taxes to get into heaven. So we don't have the same hairdo rules.
Over the conditional objection as indicated during the bench, yes, the objection is overruled and the identification may be stricken and it shall be considered a full exhibit.
Bush, when you pay them by the hour, it's not called a girlfriend. Not that I'm saying he's paying Kelly by the hour, but his sleeping partners he's paying by the hour.
Please.
Ms. Flaherty, you told us that you used the data on that contract to create a series of maps. I handed you a number of documents. The first one is marked State's Exhibit 12A for identification. Can you tell us what this is?
Yeah, this is a document that depicts two pictures of a cell tower, your traditional cell tower, with three sectors. It's just to demonstrate to the jury the tower and how the antennas are affixed to the tower and orientated.
Are we going to get the pictures of the antennas?
About how the data that you receive involves which side of the cell tower?
Correct.
is communicating?
Correct.
And if you can look at everything else, put that aside, and look at the rest of those, what are those that you're looking at?
These are maps that I created to assist in showing the actual movement of the device on February 29th, 2024.
So when you say the device, do you mean the cell phone associated with
Uh,
data?
Yes, the 702 number.
Okay, the 702 number that you began receiving some of that data in the early morning hours of March 1st?
Yes,
And that's the same data that's on that thumb drive, Exhibit 13?
correct.
Okay. So you have Exhibits 12A, D, as in dog, E, F, H, I, J, K, and M.
Should be. They do not have the exhibit labels on them. No.
Is it all red? Sticker?
Okay, yeah, and this one does. Yeah, this one didn't. Yes, you're correct. Sorry.
With the exception of A, the rest are maps that you created.
Yes, that's correct.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how you created those maps?
Sure. I had mentioned it a bit earlier. We obtained the data in spreadsheets from Verizon, Excel spreadsheets, and it's a large volume of data. So I enter that into a program by a company called Leads Online. It's called CellHawk, and it assists in doing that matching that I talked about as far as the unique tower number that's in the tower list. I upload that Verizon tower list and matching the tower that's used for each event. So whether that event is a call that takes place within the call detail records, or that event is one of those RTT events where it's actually capturing that estimated distance to tower in the engineering data. And so that helps me visualize and make these maps. And then for quality control, I mean, I look at the raw data, I look at the maps, and I make sure that it is correct.
So, Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned that this data that you use to create these maps includes events, and that a certain event could be something like a phone call. Is that
Yes, yep, so calls, or I typically call an event if it happens to be like an RTT engineering data, date and
So,
time event.
I want to ask you about that. When you say that there's an event that is related to RTT or engineering data, is the phone making a call or sending a text message at that point?
Not necessarily. RTT can be captured when the phone's being used, but it's when your phone is continuously interacting with the network and the carrier is actually capturing and measuring that, like I said, that signal speed, so that they can make some decisions when they look at that data for their own business process.
So would it be fair to say that as long as the phone is on, it may be communicating with the cell phone tower?
Correct.
And that is regardless of whether it happens to be in use for a call or a text or something like that?
As long as it's on and the data is available, yes.
And
Attorney
you mentioned-
Spicer?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Can the witness identify the program that was used?
Thank you, Chris.
Again, I didn't,
Yes.
if there's the spelling of that program?
Sure, it's CellHawk, CELLHAWK.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned that you check these maps for quality control. How do you do that?
By looking at the raw data and knowing, understanding the sectors and side of the tower, and then making sure that appears accurate. And I also, spot check the Latin longs and make sure that maps correctly.
You said Latin long. Does the raw data that you review that's on Exhibit 13 include latitude and longitude information?
No, the cell site list from the phone company, from Verizon, when they give me the master list of their cell towers, it has the latitude and the longitude for each unique number.
Does the data that you reviewed include latitude and longitude information?
In the in the RTT and the call detail, I believe they have their separate list underneath, yes.
And so you use essentially the latitude and the longitude associated with those events, and the timing to help place that phone?
The latitude and longitude of the tower that's in the tower list that's provided in that data is not necessarily in the row of the event is the latitude and longitude, just the unique number match is how we get there.
And so you did all these quality control and spot checks with regard to the maps that you have here today?
I did.
Your Honor, at this point, the state moves to introduce exhibits 12A, D, E, F, H, I, J, K, and L.
Yeah, thank you, Meme Copium. If you sent a few people over, it's always nice to have new people in the house.
The identification may be stricken with respect to those specific exhibits, and they shall be considered as full exhibits.
Ms. Flaherty, you should have a screen right there. I'm showing you what's now marked for, as a full exhibit, stage 12A. Can you tell us what this is?
So this is a picture of your traditional cell
Oh,
site.
evidence today.
Cell tower.
Woohoo.
Like I said, you can have antennas. You'll see here where the arrows are pointing, those boxes that set some antennas. And so on each side of the tower, you can see it's kind of like a triangle on this particular tower. It's a 3-sector tower. And so there's sets of antennas on there. Each of those towers, like I said, has a unique ID number. And that's where your phone, in order to be able to send, receive a call, use your data plan, text messages, you're going to be attaching to an antenna that's mounted on a tower.
And when you mentioned different sides of the tower, this one has 3, correct?
This one has 3, yes.
And how do you use that information about which of those, in this example, 3 towers, when it comes to determining a location?
So in the records, there'll be a column for like a sector, and it'll have a number, like a 1, 2, or 3. If it's like a 3G, you'll see actual sector. If it's an LTE, they're called an E node B number, and that'll be part of that number will have the sector, and that tells you what side.
So using the side and some of the other data you mentioned, you're able to help.
Tell which side of the tower, yes.
Ms. Flaherty, I'm showing you states exhibit 12D. You see this?
I do.
So this is one of the maps you created. Could you please tell us what you're looking at?
So first, just to draw your eye to the red oval, it has a 1063. That's marking.
Show us.
1063
Show
Main
us.
Street. It's the address there. And what we have all these
Show
maps
us.
are for the 702
Thank
phone
you.
number device. And the device is attached to the northern tower from that address. You can see, if you look at where it says 538 to the north.
Ms. Flaherty, perhaps it would be better if you could come down.
Can I? That'd be
Yes, please.
fantastic. Thank you.
Why don't we step right up to this large screen in front of the jury here. And please continue. You were explaining this map to us.
So. No, thank you. Won't go any further? Okay. I will speak loudly so I can actually maybe point. Is that okay? Okay. So here we have a marker for an address, 1063 Main Street. And here, when I'm talking about that tower I showed you, that picture of a tower, so this orange circle represents that location of a tower. And this wedge here is what just highlights for me the side of the tower that's being used by the device. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the device is in this dark circle here at all. It's just to kind of draw your eye to the side of the tower visually. But what it is saying is that that device is somewhere on the side of this tower. I know confidently that it's not up here, because radio waves are not a pie shaped. You know, this is just a visual. That device could be a little bit over here or over here when we're looking at the data. These arcs, it represents that estimated distance from the tower that I talked about that I get from the RTT data. It maps an arc, and it basically, as the phone is communicating back and forth with the tower, these arcs are represented. And when you have a lot of lines and it gets darker, it just sits there a long time, you're gonna get a lot of hits when you know the phone is stationary. So that gives me that indication. So here what we have is the device is connecting to this side of the tower at 5:38. It's somewhere along this arc at that time. I can't say 100% where it is along this arc, but I can confidently say that it's somewhere along this arc. Okay?
Ms. Flaherty, just to kind of sum up, so this map depicts which tower this particular cell phone was communicating at about 5:38 p.m.,
Correct,
and that's on February 29th, 2024?
correct.
And this map is showing the city of Berlin, New Hampshire.
Yes, it is.
And so those arcs that you mentioned are the estimated distance from the tower, so as you mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, that phone could be anywhere on that arc.
That is correct.
And you marked 1063, is that 1063 Main Street in Berlin?
Yes, it is.
And does that appear to be sitting right on one of those arcs?
It is. Yeah.
There's another tower beneath that, can you talk about that, please?
Sure. So then looking at movement, I looked and you see that 5:38, we have the device connected to this tower. And by 5:57:06, it is now connected down here to this tower on this side, and there are the arcs. That indicates to me a change in tower usage and most likely movement. Okay, so that's how I start to be able to decipher that.
So what time is the phone communicating with that?
And down in Berlin tower is 5:57:06.
And that tower appears to be more in the center of Berlin?
Yes.
We're going to move to the next one, if you can stay out there. This is Stace Exhibit 12F. What are we looking at here?
We're looking at the same.
I would love the cameraman just to zoom in on the evidence. We're not going to see what she's doing on the other side of the screen. So just show us the evidence and then we can make our own minds. Hey, Rat House.
Same device, all the maps are for the same device. So once again,
See, he listens.
taking off those estimated distance to tower because it gets really busy, you know, and a lot of lines and circles. So just to simplify it, this is still that engineering data while the phone is moving, but it's just showing you the tower usage and the side of the tower. Just removing those lines so it's not so busy. And so when we started with 5:38 up here north of Main Street, and then on that previous map I'd shown you where it was connecting to this side at 5:57. You can see it, then it kind of swings around, it's here, and the device then is connecting to a tower down here more towards the Borum area at 6:26. After that, I noticed that there is actually a connection over east on Route 2, heading towards the Bethel, Maine area. So around from 6:43 to 6:58, the device needs to stay connected over east when it travels.
Ms. Flaherty, are you familiar with the area shown in this map, the Borum, Berlin area?
I am.
And so this map shows connection to a tower at 6:26 p.m., and then another tower further east, several minutes later, 6:43 to 6:58. Is that about consistent with the amount of time it takes to drive on Route 2?
In my experience, that's about a 15-20 minute drive.
You're now looking at States 12E. Please tell us what you see in this, or what this map shows.
So just to continue to orient you, we've moved down to the 6:26. This was over at that time on east on Route 2. And then instead of there's no times, that moves along. And by 7:29, you can see that the device has moved along, and by 7:29, it's connected to tower in Whitefield. So it came back around and started to go south. So by 7:37, the device is connected to a tower down here in Carroll. And then coming further west, you can see they continue down, and by 7:45, that device is using a tower on 93 South in the Franconia area.
Thank you. This is States 12H. Ms. Flaherty, could you again tell us what we got shown?
Sure. On the left, if 93 is so long. You'll see, this is a section of 93. So on the left, we had originally been in Franconia on the previous map, and you can see the device continues to use towers along 93 South, Woodstock, moving forward by 808. It's down here in like the Thornton Campton area, and continuing south using towers at 813. It's down even further south in Plymouth.
Plymouth area?
Mhm.
So now moving to the right side of the screen, there's another map. What is
So
that?
thinking about 93, continuing down, here we have it now 827 in New Hampton, and moving along the different towers, continuing to come down, and by 850, that device starts to use various towers in the Concord area between 850 and 1022.
So we move on ahead.
So,
Sorry, this is 12I for the record. What is this map showing?
okay, now we're back to kind of looking at those estimated distance to tower. Here it was taking a look at the data to see is there any areas once the device got into Concord that maybe it had stopped for a period of time. Thinking at this whole time, the goal is looking for, the device, the children and Mr. Duren. So at this time, this map shows the device kind of hitting for a period of time, about 852 to 903, and this is a 903 down here, about 852.
Nightbot won't react to me.
This arc hitting, it's in this general area for those few minutes is what I would be able to discern from this. And that's on North Main Street in Concord.
Ms. Flaherty, there's a red logo with a white S on it. What is that?
That's a speedway, so that is a reference of there's a possibility of a place that's kind of where the lines cross. There was this speedway there.
And Speedway is a gas station?
Yes, it is.
Free advertising for
So
Speedway.
just before we move on, what time frame does this map cover?
So this covers from the north, we're around 9, between 9 o'clock, and you can see down, it comes, this is 9:01, but the estimated distance is way down here. So it's 9 o'clock to about 9:03. Here it's 8:56. So the total time would be about 8:52 to 9:03.
Looking now at State's Exhibit 12J, can you please tell us, first of all, where this is and what it shows?
So this is still in Concord. It's now on South Main Street. This was another location where I had indicated that it appeared that the device may have stayed for a period of time. Just north was that 903 that you saw in the previous map. By 906, it was here until 928. So this is what we would call an omni tower. That's why you have a circle. So basically, that's a one-sided tower where the antennas can cover the 360 degrees rather than a three-sector tower where each sector covers about 120 degrees.
So, Ms. Flaherty, does this tower show essentially from about, you said 906 to?
About 928, it was in that general area.
Phones in this general, and this is south of where we were
Yes.
previously?
Yep, still moving south.
South in the city of Concord, New Hampshire?
Yes.
So this is State's 12K. First, could you tell us what this map shows in terms of location and time?
So this is still in Concord, now in the vicinity of between South Main Street and Hall Street. This is also RTT data, but without the lines because the device sat here for a period of time. It was extremely busy to show all of the lines. So basically from 9:58 to 10:22, that device was connected to this tower here, the 61909 tower near South Main Street.
619.
Had about
Booyaka,
27,
booyaka.
those RTT, I call them events, so I had
619.
27 hits.
Booyaka,
So it was
booyaka.
stationary there for a period of time. While there, it was bouncing off of this Omni Tower between 10:05 and 10:15.
So, Ms. Flaherty, again, could you tell us the time frame of when that phone was connected?
This could be
to the tower?
9:58 to 10:22.
And is this location Concord further south?
Yes, it is.
Ms. Flaherty,
I know this is a stupid thing thinking of, and it has nothing to do with anything. But 10:22 at night with a 1-year-old, why the hell are you fighting and pew-pewing each other with a 1-year-old in the car at 9 o'clock at night? It's just annoys me. That kid should have been in bed. I know, random weird thought that just annoyed me.
On the left side of this map, there's a red box with some information. What does that information tell you?
So in looking at the call detail records, there was a call while this device was connected to this tower. So this information is coming from the call detail records, that will call activity, that matched up with the usage of this 61909 tower for sector 2. You can see that last number is a 2, that's the sector number. And so this would be an outgoing call from the 702 number to a 763 number. That was at 10:08 p.m. while the device was in this area, and that call lasted 13 minutes and 36 seconds.
So that call was listed 10:08,
Yes, it was.
and was that an outgoing call from that 702 phone number?
It was.
Can you read us that number?
So the call number was a 763-350-0954.
And the number that made the call, what number
Was
was that?
this 702-280-5900.
And that 702 number that made the call, is that the number associated with the phone?
Yes, it is. It's the number that is connected to this tower.
How long did that call last?
13 minutes and 36 seconds.
And this is the last one. Ms. Flaherty, can you tell us what we're looking at here?
So this here is RTT data. This
But then don't unalive your husband at that time. It won't help his sleeping rhythms. Well, I don't like modernity. My grandson gets to bed at 7 o'clock.
is from the raw data, just to show you, this is the last actual event on that device before it went off. And it matches the time that we have received from the phone company as to the time that the last location for the device, which is the morning of, or the evening of February 29th, 2024 at 10:22:30 p.m.
So 10:22 p.m. on February 29th, this phone, that 702 number, stopped communicating with cell phone
It did.
Around 5 now, I believe.
Sorry, you can please return to standing.
I think so. Maybe, potentially, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Flaherty. This gives us some more questions.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Tony Green. And thank you, Recovery. Another sidebar.
It's a good morning break. So break right now to allow council to deal with some exhibits so that we're not, so they're not wasting your time at this point. We may take another mid-morning break. We'll see based upon the testimony, but we will take a 10-minute break right now. So well, why don't we say 10:15? We'll resume at 10:15. Okay, again, please do not discuss the case amongst yourselves. All right, thank you.
All right.
We're getting there. We're getting there. 21 new subs today. Thank you so much. To the people who are helping out, helping a brother out. I might be cool before Christmas. If I can get to 20,000 subscribers, I might be, my kids would think, oh, he's not just an idiot. Thank you for the one who just popped in. Has she said when she queried this info, the Amber Alert went out at roughly 4 a.m. and they woke up the whole state? No, she didn't mention at what time they were looking at it. She just went to the telephone carrier. How is this more sidebar oriented than the retrial? I don't know what they're discussing at sidebar because they go up almost every witness. They go up twice, and it's really weird. Yeah. That's how it functions. When you're ready to watch, they go on break. But thank you so much, Monroe, and tell Recovery that he is a good egg, a nice egg, a friendly egg. So I like when YouTubers work together, and he's been good to me because he's a great guy. And thank you for those who have talked about it online. That hey, please help a brother out. They could not discuss the Amber Alert or pretrial. The Amber Alert has been discussed pretrial, and they are not allowed to bring it in because it's prejudicial to him. In what way, I don't know. So they have discussed it, and it has been ruled out that they are not allowed to talk about it. Thank you so much, John O'Mara. You changed your picture. She probably changed the picture because I didn't notice her when she was in her green getup. An egg of transcendence. Is that a good egg? Yeah, maybe those are the ones who transcend. Yeah. But another thing, this state seal, it looks like it's bought on Temu. It looks like someone took a pie tin and just drew it on, and I can't stand that it's bent on the top. Maybe it's just the light reflecting, but it looks like it's bent. It looks like a cheap pie pan. That's what I tried to say. I have seen the title, and anyone named Dustin is obviously guilty. Dustin Rhodes was a working man's hero. Yeah, but they kind of have already said the same. I don't know. That's more prejudicial than he pew-pewed her in the face. I don't think an Amber Alert will be the thing they said. Oh, so after he pew-pewed her, where she is sitting in a position that could kind of indicate she wasn't attacking him. Oh, they made an Amber Alert. Well, then he's clearly guilty. Sometimes they just make rulings where you're thinking, why are we keeping that one out? Pizza pan, dude. Well, we don't really do. You can't get deep pan pizza. We don't do the Chicago style where it looks more like it's a pie. We just you'll just have a normal pizza just with a thicker bottom on it. You don't tell any Chicagoans, but when I see that Chicago style pizza where it's just this much filling on top, it's just a pie. It has nothing to do with pizza, and it doesn't look good. I don't mind a deep pan pizza. We call it American style in Denmark, but those where it's just so much filling and a little bit of dough. No, you don't need so much filling on stuff. Son of a plumber, exactly. It kind of looks like they just printed it and it was kind of Thanks, Addict, for answering the call. Oh, recovery addicts. Oh, yeah. I thought, who? Addicts? What? We are not talking about Jamie and her use of fentanyl today. But yes, thank you so much, recovery addicts. It got us bumped a little bit closer to it. I'd been stuck. I had 27 this morning when I got to bed. Then I woke up and I was 25 again. So that's the thing. YouTube will always give a little and take a lot. But thank you so much, Holly Mac. Hey, Swiss Miss, you were here. A pizza needs to be thin and crispy. I don't mind as we call them, deep pan, where it's just a thicker dough. I don't mind that because they can be fine. But I just don't like it when there's so much filling on top of it because that's not a pizza. Hey, I am multicultural. It's not a pizza if you got to use a fork. I agree. It needs to be so you can pick it up and eat it with your hands. It's the same with a hot dog. When they get all too fancy and you have to, no, it's finger food. Is Detroit pizza the same where you just pour in way too much and make a pie? Recovery is a nice guy. Well, you are a muffin addict then, Holly Mac. Hey, Dodo. Seems like I just saw you a couple of hours ago. Yeah, I know a lot of people say Italian is the best kind of pizzas. I find them a little dry because they are maybe a little too easy on the sauce. The places I've been and eaten in Italy and other Italian restaurants. Or maybe it's just because I'm Nordic and we like a little more to it. But I just find it you can go too overboard with fillings as well. Hey Kelly, thank you so much. Oh, you're all so nice. Thank you so much, Sub Rosa. Detroit style is the cut too. I have to look it up. Normal deep dish pizza is Detroit style. Which Detroit style is the best? I don't know enough. Deep dish is a type of pizza also from Italy, but it was eaten by the royals back in the day. I didn't know that. In Denmark, it's mostly migrants who make pizzerias, and normally you'll just have not a thin crust, but a thin pizza, and they're good. But then we had one that opened right next to where I lived, and they started making these deep pan, and never really had them before. And he made some really good ones. And he had a special offer every Monday. You could get 3 for 100 Danish. That's 3 pies for 25 bucks. That's a good deal. It's rectangular and all the outside edges are buttery and crispy. Pizza should be round. Thank you, Cindy Lou Woo Hoot, for 2 years. That's almost 3 babies. Finger food, is that what we're calling it now? Yeah, everything you eat with your hands is finger food. Spire, get your mind out of the gutter. I know it's late, but nasty girl. Chicago pizza is pizza soup and it's trash. That's what I see when I see it online. I think that doesn't look good. Hey, not sure. How are we doing today? Pizza is good if they don't overdo the cheese. I never understood the 4 cheese pizzas. We had our friend from Delaware visiting us, and she went to get a cheese pizza and said, we don't have that. So she had to, the pizza maker was just putting extra cheese on it. We don't have just a cheese pizza. Yes, we are on break as always, and we're just enjoying the view of my ticker going up because the wonderful recovery addict sent his people over and said, hey, can some of you go over and help a brother out? I had the pizzas I've had in Rome has mostly been, you call it like an entree or something like that, because when we go down there and celebrate my sister's wedding anniversary, we'll do this multi-course deal where you hang out and eat for a long time. And you get a lot of different courses, and there will always be kind of like a pizza, but not that heavy with anything, just more like just a pizza bun drizzled with olive oil and maybe a little bit of tomato sauce and some good stuff, just as an appetizer before you get. Last time we had, you call it wild boar, I believe it. Yeah, wild boar is what you call it. That was good. That is very flavorful meat. Potato pizza is a good pizza. It's a really, really good pizza. I don't like cooked tomatoes, so I usually get a white sauce, but do not a lot of it. I don't think you can get white sauce in Denmark. Yeah, they are the flat, like entree style pizzas. Pineapple belong on pizza. I don't mind a pineapple on pizza if you're having a ham pizza. It'll go well together. I'm just not a big fan of pineapples. Thank you so much, Recovery Addict, and thank you for helping a brother out. Look how close we are. 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Oh, I need to screenshot it. No. Thank you so much, Recovery Addict, for helping me get above 20,000. And thank you for all the help you have given me through the last couple of years, because you have been a gentleman and a scholar and sent your crew over here whenever you had an early stop a lot of times. Thank you so much. And now I'm cool again. Thank you so much. Oh, I was so stuck on 19,925 and now almost on 2025. And thank you so much, Slot for gifting 10 Broken Baker memberships to Recovery Addict. Well, that's what you get when you hang out here. Creed M, Baka, Angel, Kate, Serene's maybe, Tilly444, Down Doubt Diaries, May the 4th be wah with you. Analytical Blarney AB. Jeepers Christ. Congratulations to all the new members, and thank you so much to Recovery and all of the addicts for helping me reach 20,000. It doesn't mean anything other than it's just cool to reach these goals. So it's just amazing. I was hoping to maybe get close to 15,000 this year, but you're all wonderful, wonderful people, and this is what makes it fun to be a YouTuber, because sometimes you get these little weird moments where people are coming together and helping people out. And of course, you are all already subscribed to Recovery Addict. But if you're not subscribed to Recovery Addict, maybe one of the mods can put his link in chat, and those of you who isn't can go help him out, because he is one of my favorite people to recommend to other people, because he's a nice guy. There's a lot of fun people online, but he's always a good guy, and he is very, very nice to people. Thank you, Hellfish Haven. Thank you for promoting on the Twit thread. And let me get to Peace Geek. Thank you for 8 months. And Holly Mac gifted 5 membership to Tracy. No, not Tracy Dane. She was. According to Boo, Lindsay Ross, Red Pen, sorry, Laura 77, and Jennifer Juniper. And Peter A says, learning to paint with Peter A, never streaming when I want to watch him. Thank you so much, and thank you for being a good friend too.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Peter. And Little Peter, congratulations, Baker, you're truly the best. I'm not,
And
but a
Ms.
lot
Ryder,
of
you're still
people
on.
are great to me.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you.
And we're back.
Good morning.
So as part of your investigation, you received records first from Verizon through the exigency process, correct?
That is correct.
And then later on, you received records from the search warrant?
That is correct.
And the search warrant records did include a longer duration of time, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so the first records were only February 29th to March 1st, less than 24.
Less than 24 hours, correct?
Okay. And the second set were about a month or?
That is correct, yes.
And when you received the records from the
Thank you, Holly.
search warrant, you reviewed all those, correct?
I reviewed the records I needed to for location data.
Okay, and can I approach, Your Honor, with Defendant's Exhibit B for ID only?
Certainly.
Just showing you what's.
Thank you, little peanut. And
Marked at
Zach can't wait till the
the-
20,000 live stream. Baker promised to chase chlamydia-ridden pigeons on a bicycle with no seat, with wig and makeup. I did no such thing. I said I might drink a Malort.
the-
Right.
Does that look like the records that you received?
But thank
That
you all
is,
so much.
yes, that's, let me scroll down, I just want,
Yes.
thank you. Yes,
Okay,
yep.
it's quite
I
a
want-
bunch.
It is a lot of records, yes.
To include the device that we're talking about, the 702 number 5900 ending, phone call records, correct?
Yes, yes, the historical call detail records, correct?
And text messages, correct?
There was content and text detail, which is just the numbers that are texting back and forth, correct?
Your Honor, may we approach?
You just approached. They were at sidebar 5 seconds ago. This is weird. You've come a long way from yelling at Letitia Stout in MLS stream. Congratulations. Yeah, imagine only 2.5 years ago, I was being invited on MLS's channel to talk about the Danish law system, and then he said, "Hey, you want to do maybe a stream?" I said, "New phone, who dat?" And then Jamie said, "I got your number. I will beat you with a stick." And I started streaming. I did fix the banner, Sue. Imagine if Sue was nicer when I had 20,000. Why do they always ask twice? It's like they forget. Most likely because they're trying to make a point of something. Hey, Dawn Marie, this lady is just cell towers and the route they drove. It has been nothing. This is the third sidebar of the day.
So, Ms. Flaherty, you,
Thank you, Iris.
some of the records.
Oh, you're so
Reviewed
kind.
The, any of the SMS content records in your analysis?
So not in my analysis, no. I did note that there was SMS content provided. It's not always provided. I noted that verbally to my team, that it was available. My focus was on location.
Okay, and when you noted it was provided, did you open?
And thank you to the kid. I'm so proud of all the work you put in here to get here. I haven't. I have a wonderful group of mods and a wonderful group of followers who do all the work for me. I am just the talking head. So thank all of them as well. And thank all the nice people I met along the way. And the assholes too, because they just spur me on. Thank you so much for 15 months, Crispy.
Open it up and look at it, or did you just see the headline on the?
I opened it up to make sure that there was actually content visible, that it was there, yes.
This spreadsheet, let me go back for a second on my file here. This preserved redacted SMS content spreadsheet is the document that you opened and looked at to confirm there was SMS.
Content available, yes. If you go to the right, that's where you should see content. Correct.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, may we approach?
This is the 5th sidebar of the day. I wish I could do the overlay counters, but I can't figure out the OBS system, so I could do like the other and just sit and say, what the... Yeah, I have to figure that one. Maybe now I'm a big guy. I can find it out. But don't. I need a mod who can figure out to do stuff like that. The kid needs to figure that one out. I don't know what she's proving. It's cell data. It's not going to prove anything. You have to tell us why he had to pew her in the face. I don't care about the cell data, to be honest. I care about why he pewed her. Well, because I have wonderful mods. And I also have other mods, but I do have wonderful mods. I had a very, very big mod apocalypse a year and a half ago where I actually thought, F it, I'm done with this, because so much bad stuff just fell right in my face as I was about to fly to Tennessee. And I purged all of my mods, and I got a few back, and I got some new ones in. And since then, it has been kind of smooth sailing, only with the constant screaming in my ear that I should do better. And of course, me having to explain to everyone why Brandon is pocket blocking every time he gets a new phone. But other than that, it's really nice that you have a good mod group. As a creator, it's hard to do all the stuff because, again, people like me and Recovery Addict, we sit here for 8 hours a day, and then you have to do the research and stuff like that. It's really nice when the kid or Marissa or Jamie or Iris, whoever, Miami, goes out and say, hey, I found this, or did you see this? So you don't have to focus on all the outside stuff. So that's why we thank our wonderful mods. Let's all remember Baker today in his prime before the Colombian nose candy and polygamy catches up with him. Well, I need a few more subs before we are at hedonism level. And I don't have a wife, so I can't really do that. 20,000. We did it, Tommy. Thank you so much, Delulu. See, Delulu is one of those people who got her own name. His defense is self-defense. He was afraid his soon-to-be estranged wife was hurting their 1-year-old, so he had no other options than pull out a pew and just plow her in the face with it. The only problem is, testimony yesterday said she was in a seated position with a blanket around her, her leg elevated on the coffee table, and she had a bullet hole to the side of her head. So again, if you're fighting over a baby with someone who is in a seated position with a leg up, you can then grab a pew, take the baby from her and pew her in the face. And then say, well, I was afraid for myself or others. I don't think that looked very good, that explanation. But there was other officers said she had both legs on the ground, which could be consistent with her getting up and then getting pewed and falling into a seated slouch position. A mod apocalypse sounds like a dinosaur. It happens to every channel because when you start, you just, oh, I need mods. I'm going to give everyone a mod. And then then some of them don't work out. Valhalla, I forgot the most important mod of them all. Who else have gotten a copyright strike for being my mod? Well, not a copyright strike, but had his channel taken away. But it's because Valhalla is a federal agent and we haven't seen him for 3 months that I forgot him. Is her hair a gift from Tom Petty or EVH? Oh, Eddie Van Halen. Thank you, Zach. He's also trying to say she was on the phone and he didn't know who might be outside or who she was communicating with.
The
I
search
doubt
warrant
that.
request
Oh, we haven't heard that part.
included,
Oh, I haven't
amongst
heard that.
other things, SMS content.
That is correct.
And SMS is text messages?
Yes, it's short message service, yes, text messages.
Okay, and you did open up the file to confirm,
To make sure it was populated, and then I let my team know, yes.
okay, populated meaning,
Meaning that there was actual content. Sometimes they say no results, but I wanted to make sure that there was actually something there.
okay, thank you. I would like to show you what's on the state's exhibit.
Thank you so much, Dodo, for buying 10 corner kisses. It's annoying that I don't get the notification, but thank you so much, Dodo. 10 corner kisses. And it's annoying I can't open the app on my phone anymore. Thank you so much, Dodo.
Your Honor, I'd like to publish states 13 and have Ms. Flair.
I asked who EVH was. I don't know.
The screen, the large screen.
Can we just get to the evidence?
So 13 is a full exhibit, and you've confirmed what you're going to publish?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, certainly.
GNX, baby. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Rambo defense. Well, it'll probably be better than the Chewbacca defense in this case.
The cell phone, 702-880, sorry, 702-280-5900, the cell phone that we have been talking about, correct?
Yes.
Dialed 603-752-3131 on February 14th, 2024.
On the 14th, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know. I don't know. We don't know how many of they had like 30, 35 witnesses. We don't know how many of them they're going to call. No, I can't change the poll. I'm sorry, Sub Rosa.
Peter? Okay, and Ms. Flaherty,
Thank you,
be
Holly
excused.
Mack.
Yes.
And thank you for everyone who's going out and harassed people to send their people over to help me. Without your harassment, I wouldn't have made it.
The state calls Justin Rowe.
I can't change the poll once it started. Carla, I don't think it'll be a long trial. I think they will keep out a lot. They have to put in all of these potential witnesses, but most of them they won't call because you don't need 5 officers saying, well, I arrived at the scene and saw her sitting on the couch. But they have to write them into the witness list because they potentially need to call them if someone from the defense said, well, didn't Officer O'Hoynahan say something differently? And then they need O'Hoynahan there to fix it. Look where minimal effort gets a guy. Exactly. I do nothing. Thank you, Victoria K. and Miss Mandy Reacts for becoming members. Thank you so much.
Sir, could you raise your right hand? You swear that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth and the truth without any perjury?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. May I inquire, Your Honor?
Yes.
Sir, could you please tell us your name and spell your last name for the record?
Justin Rowe, R-O-W-E.
Sir, where do you work?
I'm employed as a detective sergeant with the New Hampshire State Police.
How long have you been with the New Hampshire State Police?
25 years.
What unit of the state police are you currently assigned to?
The Major Crime Unit.
Just generally speaking, what does the major crimes unit do?
We primarily investigate death investigations, homicide investigations.
Sergeant Rowe, I'd like to ask you, what is an Amber Alert?
An Amber Alert is a emergency alert that law enforcement can issue when we fear for the safety of a child.
So fair to say that an Amber Alert relates to emergency situations?
Yes, it goes out through the emergency alert systems.
So when an Amber Alert is activated, and we'll talk more about that,
So they couldn't keep the Amber Alert out. 56% believe it was Eddie Van Halen who inspired her haircut. This guy, he looks like a human eraser. You know, the one in the back of your pen back. I'm old. Remember your number 2 pen? Some of them had like a red eraser on the back. This guy was the model for that one.
what happens, generally speaking?
Initially, the call is vetted out by law enforcement. There's usually a request by law enforcement to issue that. Once that criteria is met, there's paperwork that's prepared, and then it goes out through the New Hampshire State Police Communications, through the WIA, the Wireless Emergency Alert System. There's also a press release that goes out. We also partner with New Hampshire Lottery, New Hampshire DOT for the messages that go out. You'll see the signboards on the highways. It's kind of a group effort to get the information of the child and the suspect vehicle out to the public.
Sergeant, you mentioned boards on the side of the highway, you mentioned the press release, you mentioned the lottery. Does an Amber Alert also get distributed through text messages?
Yes, if the subscriber has it set to that, yes.
Okay. And when, just generally speaking, when an Amber Alert goes out by a text message, what happens?
Again, it's through the wireless emergency system, so it goes out from our state police headquarters as the communications software. Once it gets pushed out through that, it goes to various cell phone towers or companies, and it's really at their discretion of how those individual companies distribute that, and again, how the end user, everybody can kind of have their phone set to different priorities.
In the state of New Hampshire, who can authorize an Amber Alert?
The New Hampshire State Police.
So if a local police department encounters a situation that they may believe warrants an Amber Alert, what do they do?
They'll contact the State Police Communication Unit requesting that, and we have state police detectives that are trained in that, and we're on call, and we would respond, and we'll, reach out to that requesting department.
Are you one of those individuals with the state police who is trained to respond to these situations?
Yes,
And do you have the authority to authorize an Amber Alert?
I do.
And that relates to the state of New Hampshire?
Yes.
Sergeant, in the early morning hours of March 1st, 2024, did you receive some information related to an Amber Alert request?
I did.
Could you tell us what that was?
So the state police major crime was responding already up to the Berlin Police Department for a death investigation. The lead investigator, Sergeant Mallory Littman, telephoned me, so she was the actual, she was also on call to be the responding detective for the homicide, suspected homicide. But she was also at the time the on-call Amber Alert coordinator for that, so she asked my assistance in taking that piece from her so she could focus on the initial investigation.
What information did you receive about this situation?
Thank you, Harry. Thank you for all the.
So I was informed that the Berlin Police Department had received some information of, that there might have been a shooting victim in their city. They responded, found a deceased female alone in a residence. I was informed that the 2 children and the boyfriend were not accounted for, and the boyfriend's vehicle was unaccounted for.
Were you told the name of the boyfriend?
Yes,
What was the name?
Dustin Duren.
Did you receive any information about the vehicle associated with Dustin Duren?
I did.
What information was that?
I received the plate number and the make and model of the vehicle.
What were those?
It was I believe a 2017 Subaru Impreza, color white. It had New Hampshire veteran plates, V as in Victor, 69023.
After receiving that information about the situation and about the defendant, Mr. Duren and his vehicle, did you also receive some information relating to the 2 children, including their names?
Yes, I did.
Were those Elowen and Valen?
Correct.
After receiving all that information, did you authorize an Amber Alert?
I did.
And about what time did you authorize that Amber Alert?
It was broadcasted, I believe, at 3:46 a.m.
Was that 3:46 a.m. on March 1st, 2024?
Yes,
Did that Amber Alert go out via text message as well as those other means that you've mentioned?
I believe so, yes.
And what did that Amber Alert contain? What information?
So it had the Mr. Duren's information, his vehicle information. It had the information of the 2 children, their ages. We had photographs of Mr. Duren, the 2 children that were attached with that as well.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
Thank you. Okay. Can Detective Sergeant Rowe be excused?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would call Ms. Carolyn Campbell. Witness stand here, please be careful of all the wires. You step around to the back and just remain standing by that chair, okay? Absolutely. Ms. Campbell, could you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear today that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth under pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You may be seated. Ms. Campbell, you're all situated. There's some water there and a pitcher next to you if you do decide that you need some,
Okay.
If you can just make sure, I'm going to do the same, that microphone is a little bit closer to you so that it can be picked up. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, Ms. Campbell, could you please state your name for the record? I know I've said it, but we need to have you go ahead and say it. And if you could spell your last name?
Carolyn Campbell, Campbell.
Thank you. Ms. Campbell, are you currently employed?
Yes, I am.
In what capacity are you employed?
I work at a fire department as an administrative assistant.
Okay. Now, I want to draw your attention to a specific date and time. So I want to ask you, on March the 1st of 2024, so last year, March, on that date, did you become aware of an Amber Alert?
Yes, I got woken up to it in the morning.
How'd you get woken up?
My phone just started making noises I have never heard, and I saw it. I did go back to sleep for a little bit.
Okay. Did you have plans for March the 1st of 2024?
Yes, I did. I was going to meet my daughter down in Keene to take a trip up to Vermont to a previous job of hers to drop stuff off.
Okay. Now, you, at the time, were you living near Keene?
About 50 minutes away.
Okay. So at some point that morning, you left your home and you traveled to see your daughter? And
Yes,
was she living in Keene?
yes,
Okay. And it's going to sound like a really silly question, but you drove yourself from your home to your daughter's home?
correct.
Okay. Once you got to your daughter's house, can you tell us what happened?
Well, actually, all the ways there first, I was looking for a vehicle that they had announced on the Amber Alert. So all the ways there, I was looking. And when I got to her house, that was the first thing she said to me, "Did you get an Amber Alert?" And I said, "I did."
What vehicle did you spend that 50-minute drive from your home to her home looking for?
It was a white vehicle with a license plate of V as in Victor, 69023,
Okay, that's a license plate you remember to this day.
to this day.
How is it that you remember that number?
I was a dispatcher for the sheriff's department out in Las Vegas.
Okay, so the number stuck with you.
Yeah, because I looked for, I couldn't tell a Subaru from a GMC, but I can tell you a license plate. And all the ways there, I looked for that license plate.
Anything specific about that license plate besides the number that stood out to you?
The V for Victor, which is a veteran's plate, so I remembered it was a veteran's plate.
So while you were driving from your home to your daughter's home in Keene, did you see that vehicle at all?
No, I did not.
Once you arrived at your daughter's home and you had this conversation with her about, did you get the Amber Alert too? What, if anything, did the two of you do?
We got in her car to leave to go to Vermont.
And who was driving?
She was driving.
Okay. And do you remember, I don't know if you know the roads or the streets that you took, but do you remember how it is that you started to head to Vermont?
I really don't know the streets.
Okay.
Sorry.
Not a problem at all. Your daughter was driving.
Correct.
Where were you seated in the car?
I was in the front passenger seat.
Okay. Now, did there come a time while you were driving and you were headed to what town in Vermont?
Brattleboro, she had just left a nursing home job, and she wanted to bring some stuff to people that were still there, blankets and stuff and candy.
I can't remember my own
That
number
morning,
plate.
while you and your daughter are heading from Keene to Brattleboro, Vermont, did something unusual happen?
Yes, we actually had, the way I know, we were heading there and we got to Chesterfield and there's like I call them circles, rotary. And we went around the rotary, and as we went around the rotary, we were discussing the car and the license plate, and we proceeded up a hill. And when we're going up the hill, my daughter says, "Here comes a white Subaru." And I'm like, "How do you know?" You know, it's a Subaru. It's all her husband drives, it's Subarus. And she goes, "Ooh, 6'9". Oh, no, there's a V. And I said, "No, it's V. It's for veteran, Victor, 69023. I said, "That's it. That's the car." And I told her to turn around real
I
quick.
think it's one of those
You're heading from Keene
off ramps.
towards Vermont.
Towards
the
Vermont.
Vermont border, or it's
Was it a roundabout?
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
Were you already in Vermont at that point, or still? in-
No, we were still in New Hampshire.
At that point, when your daughter said that she saw the car, did you see the car?
I did see the car. I saw a white car. Couldn't tell you what it was, but we were both like looking for the license plate, and that's where she and I, she's like, "Oh no, there's a V." I said, "Yes, veteran V."
And that vehicle, which direction was that coming from? Was it traveling in the same direction as you or from a different one?
No, it was headed towards Keene,
Okay.
and we turned around on the very next road to follow it.
Tell us about that. What happened when you tried to turn around and follow that car?
Well, she turned around and we were at the end of a road waiting to turn out there. And there were cars coming down and there were two vehicles in back of the white car and a big old truck was coming and she's like, "There's a truck coming." I said, "I don't care. Step on it. Go." It's fast. Go. And we did. We followed. We were 2 car lengths behind. Actually, we were the third. I'm sorry. But when we got to the circle and headed out, there were 2 lanes. So she got in the left lane so she could get in back of him. And she pulled back over into the right-hand lane. And I had called 911 just as we had turned and were heading down the hill.
Okay, so at the time that you were getting ready to pull out in front of that truck, you were already calling 911.
Correct.
On the phone with them.
Correct, I was.
And you and your daughter driving, so when I say you, I don't imply that you're driving, but
Right.
your vehicle was following this white car from a couple of lengths behind.
Correct.
Okay, at that point, when you were 3 cars, or the third car back, could you read the license plate to confirm it?
No, I couldn't. The dispatcher was asking me, can you see the license plate? And I said, no, not right now. We're getting as close as we can. And then finally we gotten back and I was able to tell the license plate number. And a matter of fact, I even told them, they asked me if I was sure or something to that effect. And I said, well, I can tell you it's registered for the month of March. It has a number 3 sticker on it. And that's when they confirmed it.
Now, while you were behind that vehicle, once you got right behind him at or the vehicle at the traffic circle,
Yeah.
could you tell anything about who was inside of that car?
I could see a gentleman driving, and he had a baseball cap on. I didn't see anything else other than that, and he was looking in the mirror, so I kind of put my phone down on my lap and put it on speaker because I didn't want him to know I was on the phone.
Okay, you could tell that the person was looking in their rear view mirror.
Yeah, they were looking rear view and side mirror.
Now, can you describe for us, like you're on the phone with 911, what are you telling 911 as you're behind this vehicle?
Just, they kept asking me where we were at, and I was giving them the best directions I could because I don't know the town of Keene, so my daughter was yelling things at me, you know, we're here. And then I knew we get up to the lights where the state police barracks were, so I told them we were at the state police barracks. And then we get to the next light, and I told them we were proceeding towards the next circle, oval, whatever rotary.
Okay, rotary, traffic circle.
Yeah.
Those devices that don't necessarily work to control traffic.
Correct.
Okay. Now, as you were driving, you just indicated the white Subaru drove right past the state police barracks?
Yes, it drove to the entrance of the state police barracks.
Okay. Did there come a time that while you were following that vehicle, the vehicle and you said, first of all, you dropped your phone down into your lap?
Yes, because I told the dispatcher, I said, I think he sees me on the phone. I'm afraid he.
Can we just all appreciate how good this lady is? This is what you should do in an Amber Alert. You should keep your eyes out. And she remembers the number plate and then follows and alerts the police. And she's an amazing witness. She knows how to tell exact, short versions of what they're talking about. These are the witnesses you wish for in a case. She's a good witness. And why can't people drive roundabouts? Roundabouts are easy. You just yield for anyone in the circle and then you go in. Remember to go as close to the middle if you have to pass an exit. It's so easy. Never go to the roundabout at the
Members of the jury, there's an objection relative to hearsay, which I'm sustaining, and I'm instructing you to just disregard the last component of the witness's testimony relative to a hearsay statement.
So, Ms. Campbell, as you're testifying here today, right, we understand that you know what you told people, okay? But there is essentially a request that you not say what you told the dispatcher, just what you observed, okay?
So I observed, got you, okay?
Gotcha.
So,
So what you observed and what you were doing at the time that you were observing things, okay?
okay.
Even though we understand that you were, is it fair to say that while all of these things were occurring, whatever you saw, whatever was happening, you were relaying that information to the 911 operator?
Correct.
Okay. And you were doing that so that they would know where you were, what was happening, and your concerns about what you were doing, which was following a vehicle that was subject to an Amber Alert.
Correct.
Okay. Now, Ms.
because she was testifying what someone told her. That's hearsay.
Campbell, was there a time while you were following that vehicle that it came to a stop?
Inside the convenient MD, it came to a stop.
Okay, can you describe for us how that happened?
Like how we got there.
Yeah, how'd you get there?
We went down, I don't
It's
know the
okay if you don't
direction.
know street names,
Yeah,
but you were
we went around the first rotary and I explained that which direction we were headed towards McDonald's. And then there was another rotary and another rotary. And when we got to the last one, we went around it and the blinker was on to turn into
The
McDonald's.
blinker was on the Subaru that you were
On the
following?
Subaru.
Okay.
So, we were ready to turn into McDonald's, and at that point, my daughter said, "Here comes a police officer," and they were coming in the same,
Did you see a police officer come?
yes, there were police officers
Again,
coming
you
from
can't
every
testify.
direction.
Right, you've got to be careful about what you saw versus what other people saw or said.
Okay,
Okay, so did you see a police officer coming from the other direction?
yes, I did.
Okay. And then, so the direct,
Yeah, I know a lot of Americans don't know that there's a little switch on the side of your steering wheel. You can turn it down and an indicator light will start flashing on the left side of your vehicle. And you can turn it up and an indicator light will start flashing on the right side of your vehicle. That's called a blinker or a turn signal or a, I don't use that. And remember, always get your blinker fluid checked while you're having service on your car. A lot of people forget it, and it's really dangerous when you're out driving because you can't see that you're intending to switch lanes.
the blinker directional was on the Subaru, like they were gonna turn to McDonald's?
McDonald's,
Okay,
but,
And then a police officer came in towards you.
correct.
So what happened with respect to the white Subaru? Did they turn into McDonald's?
No, they kept going and they turned into the convenient MD. And when they turned in, it heads down towards an Applebee's. And the car stopped right there.
Right there being where? At the
At-
convenient MD or at the Applebee's?
It's at the end of the convenient MD parking lot going into Applebee's. And they
Down is
stayed
to the
there.
left, up is to the
So
right.
we stopped and I saw the gentleman looking in the mirror. And I told my daughter, I said, if this person gets out,
It's a joke we have in Denmark because when people don't use the turn signals to indicate they're shifting lanes or they are making a right or left turn at a road, we say, oh, they must have forgotten to get in their blinker fluids replenished. That's why the blinkers doesn't work. Yes, we are idiots in Denmark.
Okay, so you had some concerns because you saw the person looking in the mirror?
correct,
Okay.
and
Then
the
once you-
Amber Alert said, oh gosh.
Approach, please.
Oh gosh, she got heated. That, yeah, but it's still an indication to the people behind you. And trust me, I have ridden next to people who are in the turn lane who all of a sudden thought, no, I'm just going to cut in front of you. That's why you use the switch. In Denmark, you actually have to indicate on the freeway as well. If you're switching lanes on the freeway, you have to. That's the law, and a lot of people forget it. And I'm not allowed to indicate with my high beams when I think that some old fuddy-duddy needs to get out of the way. But there should be a license that you can bump anyone. We have 3-lane highways, the fast places we have. Again, we're not as many as you are. If you drive in the middle lane, I should be allowed to bump you if you drive less than the speed limit.
Hearsay objection sustained, but subject to rephrasing.
Ms. Campbell, after the car came to a stop, this white Subaru came to a stop at the Applebee's or in the entrance to the Applebee's, you and your daughter inside of your vehicle stopped. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
Okay, where did you stop?
probably about 10 or 15 feet behind the car.
Okay. And while you were stopped, you've testified that you observed the person looking in their mirrors.
Correct.
Okay. You waited inside of your vehicle at that point?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
While you were there waiting inside of your vehicle, did officers arrive on the scene?
No, because the car ended up pulling forward into Applebee's in parking.
Okay.
And-
Once that occurred, what happened with your car?
We proceeded into Applebee's parking lot as well and parked on the opposite side, kind of diagonal from that
Where you
vehicle.
could watch the vehicle?
Correct.
Okay. And your purpose for doing that, is it fair to say, is to make sure that if it left again, you were going to follow it again?
Correct.
My.
Did the vehicle leave again?
No, it stayed in the parking spot.
And did officers arrive at that time?
A lot of officers arrived at that time, and we were basically blocked in.
All right, and so you were there the entire time that officers were on scene at the Applebee's?
Correct.
Okay. Court's indulgence?
Certainly.
And if you use your turn signal, how am I supposed to be justified when you cut me off? Well, Marissa, you should start stopping driving like a maniac. I can see you as one of those ladies who is putting on makeup with one hand, having your kakalaka maka ice brew in the other hand, and screaming at the person in front of you while you're veering over all 4 lanes.
Ms. Campbell, I'm going to show you what is marked as for identification. As State's Exhibit 19A, I almost asked to borrow your glasses. As State's Exhibit 19A for this case, can you take a look at that for me?
Yes,
Do you recognize that?
absolutely.
Okay, I know you haven't been shown this photo before, is that fair to say?
No, never.
Okay, but what is depicted in this photograph?
The license plate that was on the Amber
Good
Alert
kid.
and the white Subaru.
Is that the vehicle that you and your daughter followed that day?
Yes, and there's the number 3.
Oh, and you're pointing something out to me. So you're indicating the license plate number matches the number you've told us.
Right.
It can be a little bit behind, and again, it can also, yeah. I should be ticking over to 20,000 because we saw the live kick over. Thank you all so much.
And number 3 is the month that it was registered in.
Okay, so you can see the registration sticker on there as well that
Yes.
matches your recollection.
Correct.
Or you can get up earlier and put your makeup on so you won't be late.
I have no further questions, Chairman.
Okay, thank you.
That was a good witness. I like these witnesses. It does say 20. Thank you, Fish.
Good morning, Ms. Campbell. I just have a few questions for you.
Okay.
You testified that you received the Amber Alert from your phone in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I don't know what time it went off.
Yeah, but it woke you up.
Correct.
Okay, and then you went back to sleep for a little bit. And you live in Bennington, New Hampshire, correct?
Correct.
And you had to drive later on that morning to meet your daughter in Keene, correct?
I had to meet her for 9 a.m.
Okay. And when you when you woke up, you remembered about this Amber Alert and it was on your mind, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you were aware of the license plate number they were looking for
Correct.
in a white sedan,
White, yes, Subaru, I think they said, or,
white car, yeah. So when you're driving from Bennington to Keene, are you, you're headed west, right? West toward the Vermont
yes,
border? Okay. And when you are headed, you get to your daughter's who lives in Keene?
correct.
Okay. You switch cars?
Yes, we
Okay.
switched cars.
So she's driving her car, you're a passenger.
Correct,
And you two head toward Brattleboro, Vermont, right?
correct.
Which is continuing west away from Keene toward the state of Vermont, correct?
If you say it's west, sure.
Let me show you a map that might help.
Hey, Lefty.
Defendants, A2 for ID. Can you recognize what that is?
Yeah, that's the Applebee's there. We came from, how do you tell? I think the road we came from was actually down here.
Fair enough, but can you see Brattleboro, Vermont, or the border at least for Vermont, New Hampshire in that map?
Where's Brattleboro? Oh, over here, correct. Yes,
And so you were driving from Keene away from Concord, right? Away from Concord toward Vermont.
Away from Keene towards Vermont, yes.
Right.
That,
Concord
to me, that would be north. I'm kind of confused.
You were headed toward Vermont.
Correct.
From Keene with your daughter driving.
Correct.
Okay. And the white car with the veteran plate that you observed was headed from Vermont into Keene, correct?
Correct.
And so you don't know where it had been, but it was driving in the direction of Keene from Vermont, from the border of Vermont.
Correct.
Okay. And when you observed this car traveling, you started to follow it, right? Your daughter did.
Yes, we turned around.
And you observed that it was driving with the flow of traffic, right?
Correct.
At normal speed.
Correct.
Nothing erratic or concerning.
No,
Probably to try and say he was in a calm state of mind. If they are trying to imply later that he was gonna unalive the kids or something like that, saying that well, he was calm. He wasn't. It wasn't. He lost his mind and he unalived her. But I'm just not sure that's a good argument. Again, he drove right past the police barracks. He could just have turned himself in.
And you went through some rotaries, roundabouts, traffic circles, and at one point, the driver put his blinker on and turned into McDonald's, right?
The husband unalived the wife allegedly to protect the daughter or because she would take the kids away from him. We haven't really gotten into a lot of that so far.
that's where I thought he was turning into. That's where the blinker came on, was just before McDonald's.
And McDonald's is just a few, I don't know, a mile or so up from Applebee's?
Oh, not even a mile.
Not even a mile, okay.
Couple buildings.
Couple buildings, okay, thank you. So, but it didn't turn into McDonald's, it kept going. And you said it went to the MD convenience, correct?
Yes.
Or convenience
Convenient MD, yes.
Which is sharing a parking plaza with Applebee's?
No, it's not sharing one. It has its own parking lot, but you can get from that parking lot to
Okay,
Applebee's.
thank you. So it's the car you observed stopped in the parking lot for Convenient MD
Yes.
for like, what, less than a minute?
I'd say about a minute.
Oh, okay. And you were just sort of, you and your daughter lingering behind in your own car?
Yes.
With 911 the whole time?
I was on with 911 the whole time until the police showed up.
And then after a minute, it drove down into Applebee's parking lot, you said?
Correct, to the left.
To the left and parked in a parking spot, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then you went also into the Applebee's parking lot?
But to the right
To
and
the right.
parked.
Parked, observed the scene.
Correct.
And then how long after that did the police show up and block you in?
They were there within seconds.
Okay.
I mean, I think, oh, never mind.
Okay. Thank you. So, and then there was a lot of police activity, right?
A lot.
And the driver of that white vehicle did not try to flee, correct?
No, he did not.
Just see if I can update. I don't have anything further, thank you.
Okay.
No, Your Honor.
No redirect? Okay. Can Ms. Campbell be excused?
So another sidebar. Good witness, not an important witness because we know he was apprehended. Applebee's, I'm not a big fan. I've only eaten there once, but not a big fan of them. Did she bring anything noteworthy? He was calm, maybe to say his state of mind. But again, this is after the fact, so I'm not sure it's changing a lot. Yeah, there was something about him just wanting a last breakfast and then he's going to turn himself in. So maybe that's what they're going to argue. Well, it was right next to the police barracks, and that's why we did it that way. And now we're sending the jury out for the mid-morning break, so we can get lunch in 50 minutes. Is that what we're doing? I'll eat a potato from any restaurant. I'm not going to order potatoes at restaurants. Well, if it's fried. Now it would be really nice to have the audio back on.
Whichever is more convenient. Not now, but either before or after, depending upon the circumstances at the time, just so that we have a ability to plan and understand what the next steps will be. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back at 11:20. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's take a 20-minute break to do 40 minutes back and forth. Whoop, whoop. Fantastic. Don't be mean like Jamie. We had a restaurant in my town who made fish and chips. Then it turned into a vegan hellhole of patchouli oil and dreadlocks. And we can't serve fish and chips anymore because we're vegan. So now I can't get a good fish and chips. That was the only good fish and chips I've ever had really in Denmark. Because normally you'll just get a fried fish and some soggy French fries, and that's not really that good. Never been to an Applebee's. They're any good. I went to one at a mall outside of New York with the kids, and we had the most horrific waiter. She was mean. She was angry. The food didn't arrive on time, and they had. I think that was just about the time when they started doing the little screen where you can hit the percentages or write your own percentages of tip. The food didn't arrive on time. We had to send some of it back because it wasn't cold, and she was really nasty, really just an unpleasant waitress. And it's not like Applebee's doesn't cost money. It's not free food, so at least you give me some service. So she came over and she put that in front of me. And she said, well, custom is 20% tip or something. I went in and changed it to 1%. And I said, yeah, you get paid for the service you deliver. And I just left. And I think she still hates me to this day. Well, if you're going to treat me like shit, I'm sitting with 2 kids. We're in your restaurant. You can't even serve the meals together. And you get angry when we ask questions. No, you're not getting any tips. With malted vinegar for the fish, we don't really have that. We'll just get the pea mush and the sauce. I like the sauce. Well, chain restaurants can be fine. I don't mind eating at a chain restaurant, but it was just the service was so bad. It was almost being at Burger King. I was really looking forward to fish and chips in London. It's disgusting. Vinegar on soggy fries and 3 inches of batter with boring white fish inside. We didn't have that because you can get that if you go to the places you can get a fish now. But the other one, it was really good. It was the thick, I think they called them steak cut fries, and it was good homemade battered fish and everything. It was really good. And vinegar, there was not. I think you could get that, but I'm not that adventurous. And brown sauce and stuff. The pea mush, it's just mushy peas. That's good. You should try it. Chili's is good, especially for kids. Never been to a Chili's. Asking questions is a great way to get pubes in your pizza. One of the questions was, sorry, where is the restroom? And she was, look at the sign. And I said, I'm sorry. And I was I had been looking around and couldn't see it. And then she just pointed over there. And again, I had a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old. And as you know, ladies, you need to pee constantly. So it wasn't like I was asking her to do my math equations or anything. I just asked her for a toilet. I think that's a part of a server's job. The tartar sauce is good. I like tartar sauce. I was a server. It's an awful, definitely not for me because I dislike most humans. It was an interesting time of my life. I can turn it on. I can even pretend that I like people like Lefty, but yeah, don't work in that job if you have a bad day. Yeah, but I had 2 kids and I can't remember. I think there was maybe a Taco Bell or something else in that mall, and they were really looking forward to that Applebee's. They had seen some commercial on TV, and they want to try it because we don't have stuff like that in Denmark. And is it the Catskill Mountains or something outside of New York? And we were out in this mall, and we were just going around, and it's been a long day, and we were flying home that day. So yeah, I had like a 3-hour drive to JFK. So we just wanted some food, get out of there. We had been in America for a week. We were ready to go home. And that's why we went in there. But it's an easy way not to get a tip. Lefty, if you can get Marissa to do anything, please send me the menu how you do that. My job is why I have most bad days, though. Yeah, but still, that's just because you are an angry old Monday hater. When I was little, we went shopping in Glasgow and ate in Skinner's chips with Scotch pie, and they had brown sauce mixed with vinegar. It was awesome. That's the thing. I used to watch this guy who went out and tried hospitality and just watching games on every level in British football. And I don't get the brown sauce and the other, because when I was in London and watched the football game and they bought one of those pies, it looked nasty. It looked way too gelatinous for me. Yeah, well, I couldn't slide it further down than 1%. So Ushu, what? Yeah, but it's not the same. It's kind of like a thin thing they put on pies and stuff like that. It's kind of like a Worcestershire or something like that, but just a little bit. It's not a gravy like you would expect a gravy. So I don't get it. Hey, hey. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe mix the pea mush, brown sauce, and vinegar and see what hellscape becomes. No, I like peas. Peas is my favorite vegetable, and there's the tartar sauce. I don't need brown sauce or any of that weird stuff. I just like my nice steak cut fries and a nice piece of fish. It's one of the few fish dishes I will eat. And sadly, it turned into a hippie commune and it went bankrupt within 6 months. It's a staple you get with fish and chips. Mushy peas is just something you'll get with it. It's Marissa, don't be. You have the palate of a 5-year-old. Oh, I don't want to try anything new. If it's not Dino Nuggets, I'm not eating it. Get over yourself, Marissa. Yeah, And then also mash some potatoes and drown it in gravy. Oh, that's good. But you don't want to eat mushy peas. Oh no, I can't do that. I am adventurous. I ate a lot of. Have you ever had catfish? I have had catfish because I am adventurous. I'll try new stuff if it looks okay. And I'll try almost anything once. But there's a lot of things that I won't try twice. Yeah. I don't know. What's wrong with Dino nuggets? Nothing if you're a 5-year-old. I don't know what a marrow pea is, but they taste great. Always check the date of the Dino nuggets. It has to be Jurassic or older, or it's not good Dino nuggets. No, you've been a catfish. We know what you. Oh, mommy's on Tinder making money now. I know that type. Thank you. I don't know if it's deserved, but thank you. Frog legs. I had a nibble of one in France, and it's weird. It's but I don't like chicken either, and so maybe that's why it reminded me on a very small, like a quail, kind of like the leg of a quail, and it wasn't for me. But we were in France once playing music where they had a big nationwide transport strike, so we couldn't get wherever we were going to play music and stuff like that. Most of the places we couldn't go because the highways were closed, and they didn't really have food for us. So we got all of this weird food that they just whatever they could bring us. So we had some frog legs once as an appetizer, and then we had like the shank of a pig, but they had left the skin on so you could see the hairs and everything on the skin. That was really nasty. That was one of those where you eat with your eyes and your eyes said no mas. And they actually also had some pea soup, and we wore an old sailor's uniform in the marching band I was in. So we had white trousers, and people who spilled that pea soup on their trousers, they were just ruined. That wasn't good. No, but it's just it's not because it tastes like chicken, but it looked like a small quail, and I don't like chickens that much because I had a very bad bout with salmonella. I think shrimp have more taste than lobster. A lobster bisque is good, but that's because you season the soup. We had what's called a chief dinner when I was deployed, where we had to make all the fancy stuff for all the fancy officers, and we had a pretty decent chef who ran our kitchen, and he made some lobster bisque, and that was good with some cognac and all of that stuff in it. But just eating lobster,
You seen it?
it's kind of like just putting your tongue out the window.
This thing called Joel and Les.
Another thing, mussels and it's mussel and clam. You know those seashell things that you have to open. They are nasty, especially those
Do
you
you swear
drink.
that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth under the pain and penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. Please take a seat. Sir, could you please tell us your name and spell your last
Are
name?
you 200 years old,
Yes,
Sadowski?
Joel Velez, Velez.
Sir, where do you work?
I work for the Keene Police Department,
How long have you worked there?
just under 6 years.
Did you attend and graduate from New Hampshire Police Academy?
I did,
What year?
2020.
What's your current role or rank with the Keene Police?
Patrol Division.
And just generally, what does that mean for you as a patrolman? What are your duties?
Respond to calls for service, protect life and property.
Officer Velez, on March 1st of 2024, were you scheduled to be on duty that day?
I was.
What shift were you working that day?
Day shift, 0645 to 1645.
So 6:45 in the morning to 4:45 in the afternoon?
That is correct, sir.
Before your shift, were you woken up by something in the morning?
I was.
What woke you up?
An Amber Alert that had gone statewide, I believe.
No one
When you
eats yellow peas
responded
who's under
to,
60 years old.
When you went to the police station for work that day, did you receive some further information related to that Amber Alert?
We did. The whole shift did.
What information did you receive?
That the previous Amber Alert that had gone out had last pinged in Concord. The driver, registered owner of the car, Dustin Duren, was identified to us. Was believed to be driving a white Subaru Impreza, New Hampshire veteran registration, V69023. Was in the company of his 2 young children and was believed to be armed with at least 1 handgun.
Did the Keene Police subsequently receive some additional information related to that vehicle?
We did.
And what information was that?
At about 10 a.m., our dispatch fielded a call that someone believed they were traveling behind the car from the Amber Alert.
As a result of that call coming into dispatch, what did you do?
I immediately left the station.
Where did you go?
I was tasked by my sergeant to travel westbound on Route 101 towards Winchester Street.
And what was your purpose in traveling in that direction?
To intercept the vehicle.
That day, what were you wearing in terms of a uniform?
I was wearing a fully marked Keene Police Patrol uniform.
With a badge clearly visible?
Yes,
And what kind of car were you driving that day?
a fully marked Keene Police Patrol vehicle.
Did you get into your cruiser, your patrol vehicle, and start driving in that direction?
I did. I responded with a code 3, lights and sirens.
So lights and sirens activated. Was it just you in the car, or were there any other officers there?
I was the only one in that car.
Officer, I'm handing you what's marked for ID as State's Exhibit 14. Can you take a look at this?
It's a map of Keene.
What section of Keene does this show?
So it shows Route 101, which runs east and west, Route 10, north and south, as well as the Winchester Street Key Road Rotary.
And there are a couple of notations here. There's a notation for an Applebee's and for a convenient MD. Do you see those?
Yes, I do.
Are those accurate with regard to where those businesses are in Keene?
Yes, they are.
And is this picture a fair and accurate representation of this section of the city of Keene, New Hampshire?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to strike the ID and introduce Exhibit 14.
Thank you so much. She's like Texas. 20 memberships. 20 memberships. Proctor's Pro Say episode. Plushie Mom. Elizabeth Harris. Honey and Salt. Cherry and Max. Sarah Harvey. Nellie Marie. Dollar Store Fatty. I love that name. Shani C. Nurse Kim's Unopened Messages. Noel. Lynn. Jennifer Duncan. Kath Spencer. Lawyer's Daughter. Lacey L. Athena's Mom. Judy Georgia. Needs more. No, not me. Corbell. Mitzi Lucius. Lori Marie. Piroki Cacciatore. Are the lucky winners of one of the memberships. Thank you so much. She's like Texas. Very, very kind of you. Yeah, it's almost like a Green Day concert. I crack myself up. I'm as funny as Zach.
The ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibit 14, and it shall be considered a full exhibit.
So officer, you should see it on the screen there. I'm going to ask you to actually come down and step down from the witness stand.
Sure.
If you would. We have the map a little bit bigger here for the jury. If you can just stand up there and we're going to keep waiting for the microphone on before your testimony. If you stand up to the side so the jury can see. And please just make sure you speak into the microphone.
It's red cabbage, it's not red
Officer,
sauerkraut.
what do you see here?
It's a map of Keene.
Okay, what part of Keene?
Route 101 runs east and west. Route 10, north and south.
Where's the police station in relation to what you see here?
It's a bit further eastbound, up Route 101 here.
And you see, you point out the jury the convenient MD and the Applebee's. And can you point out for them the parking lot situation with those two areas? And are they connected at all?
They are. You can access here off Winchester Street, you can access here off Winchester Street, and then it's a shared parking lot for both. This little slip lane here will get you from convenient MD to Applebee's.
So officer, there are a couple of rotaries or traffic circles on this map, just for the record, and ask you about the larger one towards the bottom of the picture. What roads feed into that rotary?
The larger one here, Winchester Street, Route 101 east and west, and Route 10 south.
So it's fair to say that the road going south out of that traffic circle is Route 10, but the road going north is Winchester Street?
That's correct.
And is it 101 east and west on both sides?
That's correct.
If you were to travel west on Route 101, would that take you in the direction of Vermont?
It would.
And then, as you said, if you travel east on 101, that's further into the city of Keene towards the police department?
Correct.
I'm just asking you a couple more questions about this. Is there a McDonald's somewhere
Yes, there is.
in the area? Can you point out where it is?
Sure. It's just north of the Key Road, Winchester Street Rotary, situated off here.
You mentioned Key Road. Can you point that out with your finger for the jury?
This is Key Road, and then run back into a shopping plaza.
So, officer, if there were a car traveling north from that larger traffic circle on Winchester Street towards the second traffic circle, the smaller one, could that car turn left into the convenient MD or Applebee's parking lot?
No.
Why not?
The median here separates the north and southbound travel. They would have to navigate the rotary and come back around.
So a car that was coming north out of the traffic circle of 10110 would need to go up and around the second traffic circle to get back down to the Applebee's parking lot?
That's correct.
And then just to be clear, convenient MD and Applebee's both have parking lots, but it is possible to drive from one to the other without obstruction?
That is correct.
You can safely return back to the stand. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, officer, you told us that you were at the police station and you began driving. What route did you take to get to, well, I'll ask you this. Did you go to this area that we see on the map?
I did.
And did you go there directly?
I did.
What road did you take to get there?
Route 101 westbound.
Okay. So, as you traveled on Route 101 westbound, did you eventually get to the area of the traffic circle with 101 and 10?
Yes.
And as you were driving, did you receive further information from dispatch about the location of that vehicle?
Yes, I did.
And what did that information tell you?
The initial reporting party had watched the car exit and begin northbound travel on Winchester Street towards the McDonald's.
And so when you received that update, was that while you were already in your cruiser
Yes, it was.
and you were en route, so to speak?
I was.
About how long did it take you to get from the police station to the area that we see here?
Couldn't have been more than, it was under a minute.
Could you tell us what happened when you got to this area? What did you see or do?
So as I approached the rotary and the slip lane for Winchester Street, and we got that information, I saw what looked to be a white Subaru Impreza begin traveling northbound. So rather than continue westbound, I started traveling northbound on Winchester Street as well.
You mentioned you saw a white vehicle, and at that point, did you know if it was the particular vehicle you were looking for?
I did not know at that time.
Where was this white vehicle that you saw? What direction was it traveling?
Northbound on Winchester Street toward the second rotary, Key Road, McDonald's.
Could you tell if it was coming from the eastbound, or was it traveling, or was it coming towards you from the west, or was it traveling in the same direction as you when it went north?
No, it was traveling from the west.
Okay, so coming in the opposite direction.
That's correct.
So you saw a white vehicle, what did you do next?
As I continued driving northbound, I maintained a visual on the vehicle. I watched it navigate the rotary. I sped up, accelerated, I navigated the rotary, and was able to get behind it, just maybe a couple cars lengths.
When you say you saw it navigate the rotary, which rotary are you referring to?
Winchester Street, Key Road.
Okay. So you've told us that you're not behind that vehicle. What happened next?
I could see the taillights as well as the rear license plate affixed to the car.
And did that, what was the license plate that you saw?
It's New Hampshire Veteran V69023.
What did you do next?
I followed it, preparing to make a motor vehicle stop, but it turned into the convenient empty Applebee's parking area.
Did you follow it?
I did.
What did that car do once it turned off the road into the parking lot area?
It came to a stop in one of the designated parking spaces.
What did you do?
I told dispatch where we were, and I read the license plate twice, I believe, and dispatch confirmed that was the vehicle from the Amber Alert.
Why did you do that?
One, to confirm who I was likely going to take my gun out and point it at. And I had written it on my hand in the morning in roll call, but I had sweated it off.
So you wanted to confirm that
Yes.
that was the right one? After you received that confirmation, what did you do?
Exited my cruiser as quickly as I could and raised my gun until it was level with the driver's side window.
Officer Velez, why did you take your gun out when you got out of your car?
The information that we received was that the driver, owner, operator, Dustin Duren, was believed to be armed with at least one handgun, and that he may have been involved in a shooting that morning.
So was that for your safety?
And anyone that was around, it's a fairly busy shopping plaza.
When you took your gun out and stepped out of your car, what was that vehicle doing?
It was parked.
Could you see anyone in the vehicle?
I could see the driver at the time clearly.
What happened next?
I began to give commands. I yelled out to the driver, hands, let me see your hands. Couldn't have been more than a couple of moments later, I was joined by some other officers.
So I want to set the scene. You are standing next to your cruiser? Is that it?
I was.
And you had the door open?
I did.
Were you standing behind the door?
I was.
Why were you doing that?
To just give myself some sort of cover in case the suspect or the driver engaged me in a gunfight.
About how far away were you from that white vehicle?
I would say 2 car lengths,
Any obstructions between you and that car?
none.
When you began giving commands, what did the person in the car do?
He was compliant. He put his hands on the steering wheel so I could see both of them. And that was the last command I gave. They were taken over by another officer.
So other officers joined you?
Yes.
What were their names?
Officer Kyle Macy, Officer Nicholas Panel, and Sergeant Mark Cotton.
Did one of those officers take over giving commands to the individual in the car?
Yes, Officer Macy.
Did the individual in the car comply with those commands?
He did.
What did the individual in the car do as a result of those commands?
He exited the car, remained compliant. He walked backwards towards the sounds of our voices. He was placed up, he was put onto his knees and then taken into custody, secured into handcuffs.
From the time that that person came out of the car and the time that he was placed into handcuffs, did he say anything?
He did.
What did he say?
Initially, he said, "My kids are in the car," something to that effect.
Did he say anything else?
He did.
What did he say?
He said, "There's a pistol in the door."
Did you get close enough to that individual to observe him?
Yes, I did.
Do you see the person who came out of that car who was driving?
Thank you so much, Danny T. And the moist maker is happy. Hey, nefarious shenanigans. Didn't miss much today. Today has been about just putting in a lot of this is how we apprehended him.
Driving that white car here in the courtroom today.
Yes, I do.
Could you please point him out and identify him by describing an article of clothing that he's wearing?
Sure. That would be the gentleman seated here with the glasses on.
Your Honor, may the record please reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
The record shall so reflect.
So, to be clear, the defendant is the person who was taken out of that car and arrested.
Yes, he is.
After the defendant was taken out of the car and placed under arrest, did you have any further interaction with him?
I did.
What did you do?
I ultimately served as a transport car to bring him to the state police barracks.
Before that, after he came out of the car and when he was placed into handcuffs, what did you do?
I approached the car. I was instructed by my sergeant to collect the 2 young children that were in the back seat with Officer Panel.
At what point did you notice that there were children in the back seat?
Prior to the defendant being secured into handcuffs, one of the, I believe it was the infant, poked her head up.
Did you approach the car?
I did.
And which door did you go to?
The driver's side rear.
Okay. And when you got there, what did you see?
The infant was in the back, and she was just kind of lying in the car seat. She wasn't strapped in or anything like that. She was wearing a diaper. It was overflowing with feces. And her the older sibling.
Your Honor, can we approach?
Did we need to know that? Oh. Most defendants will wear the glasses they get in prison. So I don't think they will wear a lot of fake glasses. That's why you see a lot of plastic glasses is the ones they get in prison. Because they can't just put on glasses in court. It's not like prisoners going to say, hey, buddy, you want a pair of glasses? You will have to have a reason for it. No, because she was in the car the entire time, I believe, the 1-year-old. So she wasn't in the house when the pew-pewing happened. Maybe it was, maybe it's to, that's why he went to Applebee's, because they have a good changing room.
Officer, you mentioned you saw an infant. You also, was there a second
Thank you,
child?
she's like
Yes, there
Texas.
And what was her condition?
Couldn't do it without all of you.
She was lying across the passenger side of the back seat, not buckled in. She looks terrified.
Officer, what did you do when you approached that car?
I opened the door. I asked Officer Panel to hand me a red flannel shirt so that I could wrap the infant up, and I took her to my cruiser, and I held her until EMS collected her
They just said the kids the diapers were overflowing.
from me.
I'm sorry, there's noise. You held there until,
EMS collected her from me.
okay. Officer Felez, on the day that we're talking about during the events that we discussed, were you equipped with a body-worn camera?
Yes, I was.
Okay. What is a body-worn camera?
Its purpose is to capture any incident that we respond to as patrol officers during the course of our shift.
Is it standard for you to wear that when you're on patrol?
It's policy.
Where is the body camera located on your person?
Essentially in the center of our uniform shirt.
So you're indicating your hands kind of the center of your chest.
That's correct.
And when does that body camera turn on?
There's a couple different ways to activate it. We wear looks like a watch. It's a remote. We can activate it. Any rapid movement running will activate it. Our emergency blue lights will activate it.
Referring to March 1st of 2024, you said you were wearing a body camera.
I was.
Did that body camera activate at some point?
It did.
Why did it activate?
I started running out the door when dispatch advised of the caller behind the car.
And just one, I'm going to back up real quick. You mentioned that you wrapped that infant in a red flannel shirt. Where did that red flannel shirt come from?
It was in the car.
Officer Velez, I'm showing you what's marked for ID as State's Exhibit 15. Do
Yes.
you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
That is the recording captured on my body-worn camera.
So it's a CD, correct?
Yes.
And you reviewed the contents of this
Hey,
CD?
Marianne,
What is
how are
on
you
the CD?
doing?
My body camera footage from the day in question.
Okay. And is this, strike that. Your Honor, at this point, we've moved to introduce as a full exhibit, State's 15.
Okay.
The ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibit 15, and it shall be considered a full exhibit.
Now, officer, your body cam ran for quite some time this day, correct?
It did.
And that only captures a portion of the day that you were active, is that correct?
Correct.
And is it fair to say that this video on that CD ends right as you collect that infant from that car?
It does.
And before we play it, Officer Velez, does the body cam that you wear record volume?
It does after 30 seconds passes.
So when we start this video, will we hear audio right away?
No.
Why not?
You have to wait for the 30-second mark to elapse.
Okay, so the audio will come in after about 30 seconds?
Yes, it will.
Let's see what we can see. Finally, we can see something.
Before we started, Officer, when this video begins, where are you?
In my sergeant's office.
Okay, and is that at the Keene Police Station?
Yes, it is.
And then, just very briefly, when it starts, do you begin moving towards your cruiser?
I do.
Do you make a comment with a profanity in it?
I do.
And what is that comment?
I spilled my hot coffee on my hand, so it's something to the effect of, fuck, that's hot.
Okay.
Oh my God. This is a family-friendly channel.
For the record, we're now playing State's Exhibit 15. Oh, I screwed up, but I was just going to pause it there briefly. Officer, you saw...
Don't
another officer-
stop it. Play it, and then you can talk about it later.
Dispatcher just told us that the caller was on the line behind the car.
I'm not gonna mess with it anymore.
B69033, B69033. One stop at Applebee's, Keene, B69023, confirm that complete.
Victor, 69023.
Heads! Heads! Open the door with one hand. Put both hands on the wheel right now. Do not move, you understand me? Don't you fucking move! I understand. You mind the door? Yeah, right here. Hey, pay attention to us. Put your hands on the car. No, get out. Turn away from us. Maybe the car is maybe in the back. Turn away from us. Walk backwards. Yeah, walk backwards. Yeah, walk backwards. I got it. Walk backwards. Down on your knees. Down on your knees. Hands are off on your left. Do not move. Do not move. Yeah.
Recording loaded. Wi-Fi connected.
We got red flannel and wrap her up.
Officer Velez, you mentioned that you kept or held on to that infant until she was taken by EMS.
That's correct.
Was the other child also eventually given to EMS?
She was.
I have no more questions.
Just a couple of us. When you pulled into the Applebee's, were you the first officer at scene?
I was.
Okay. And you confirmed that you were dealing with the correct subject of the Amber Alert, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at that point, when you pulled in, you could just see the driver in the car?
Correct.
You didn't see any kids at that point when you just pulled in?
That's correct. It's fair to say, yes.
And you started yelling commands, and you told us on direct, and we saw in the video that the drivers complied.
That's correct.
Okay. And when the driver opened up the door, he did yell, "Kids in the car," correct?
When the driver did?
Yes.
Yes, he said something to that effect.
Okay. And then he also told you that there was a gun in the car as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And he actually said it's on the driver's side door.
He did.
Okay. And then we heard you on the body cam yelling, "Pay attention to us." Was that because the driver was looking back to the back seat?
So that was Officer Macy.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
his voice.
Did you observe, though, the driver looking in the back at that point?
I don't recall, ma'am.
Okay. Was that your voice when you said "kids in the car"?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that was when the infant popped her head up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nothing further, thank you.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Can Officer Velez step down?
Thank you.
May he be excused?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, members of the jury, we'll stop there. for the lunch break for the day. We'll stop there and return at, try to reconvene at 1 o'clock. Again, as I said yesterday, if you do happen to run into anyone and don't conduct any research or transmit anything about what you've seen or heard as part of the trial. Okay, we'll try to reconvene again at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
No, but that's sadly a lot of the cases we see. It will be over something stupid like this, that she's leaving him, taking the kids, I can't handle it, or she's going crazy and I had to do it because of the kids. So that's always when there's kids involved, it's almost always something like that.
Now, later, approach, bench, chambers, what would you like to do?
Whatever the court would like.
Why don't we deal up here, please? Thank you.
Dinner time, I'm ordering roti. I don't know what's roti. Oh, that's an Indian flatbread. But it's just a flatbread. Don't you have something with it? I get the desperation of the father, of the mother wanting to take the kids out of the state permanently. However, if he doesn't have the mental capacity to deal with the stress, he doesn't need a pew. If that's what's happening, we still don't really know. We haven't heard a lot about what's happening in the end. I really need to get premium. Keep getting diet ads. How do they know I'm on a diet? I don't understand why you can keep getting all these ads, because I have it set to, so just to keep it monetized, not to make them totally forget me in the algorithm, that you should only get ads whenever you sign on. But apparently people will tell me that ads still run, so that's for YouTube. Roti is the bomb. Mediterranean chipotle. No, it's Indian. I just looked it up. It's Indian. It's a flatbread. A firehouse sub. Chicken curry and string beans and flatbread with Madame Jeanette peppers. Awesome. Well, that sounds more like a dish, because the other is just a naan bread. Yeah, the aunt will be very interesting to find out if there was any plans to do anything, and he might have known about it, and then he lured her there. But that would probably have made it murder 1 instead of murder 2, as it is. So it seems like something happened at the house. But if you have the facts as we've been presented, her sitting with maybe with a blanket around her, I have a hard time seeing how she can attack him. Oh, I should get a lot more money from it then. Bad Dog, I reached 20,000, so yes, it's been going well. Hey, Stace. Indian lefse. Lefse is potato pancake, isn't it? Roti is a restaurant. You're making stuff up. And I have to go and get some rice porridge. Doesn't seem like they're going to come back with anything. They're just arguing for their umpteenth sidebar. So I'm going to chuck you all out of here. Go get your roti. Go get your sub house fire steaks. Go be on a diet. Go get something to drink. I think that's why I have a headache, because I haven't drank enough today. And be back here in about an hour. Again, oh, let's see if something happens. Nothing will happen. So everyone, be back in around about an hour. If you don't get the YouTube notifications, join the Twitter, the Facebook, or the Discord, where I will notify every time we go live, so you have a chance to be here, hang out with. I know every creator says I have the coolest chat on the interwebs, and mine is specifically cool. My chat isn't that cool, but they're funny, and you can talk about anything from pew-pewing over roundabouts, why Marissa doesn't use blinker fluids, and what you are having for your lunch. So what do you need more? You don't need the smartest chat on the internet. You need the kosherest chat on the internet. So everyone else can have the best chat on the internet. I'll settle for the funniest, smartest, kosherest chat on the internet. Yeah, Zach is still here. So thank you all for being who you are, and thank you all for showing up. Please follow all the places and be back in about an hour, and we'll see you there.